All right, Gyre fans, we are here at McKinney ISD Stadium getting ready to bring you Gyre versus Cedar Hill Longhorns live. Rik Thrailkill, John Piper, Koency Hord will be with you throughout the afternoon, so stay tuned. Up next, the Coach Rodney Webb Show. We'll be right back.
Tuned in to the Gyre Football Radio Network. This is the Coach Rodney Webb Show, brought to you by BudBartleyHomes.com, Marty B's, the Law Office of Kimberly and Shanklin, Cloud Realty. I'm joined by my partner, Rik Thrailkill. Hello, Rick.
How you doing, sir?
And I know we saw each other right after the New Year's, but happy 2021.
Thank you. It started out with a bang, just like the previous year. So let's hope things get back to normal here in a day or two.
And to break down all things Gyre football, welcome head coach Rodney Webb.
Warm and dry.
Gotta love it. Coach, a quick question for you. Looking at the weather Saturday, what do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be awesome. One issue this time of year when you're playing on Saturday afternoon, when it's sunny outside, the sun is an issue, and it really doesn't matter what time of day that you play. The sun is going to be an issue. It's in the southern sky this time of year, and so, kicking off at 1 o'clock the other day, it was pretty much an issue. If you were going the right direction, it was an issue the whole day. So this Saturday is supposed to be overcast, so I think the sun is not going to be an issue. It's going to be around 50 degrees unless the forecast changes, and then not much wind. I think it's going to get a little bit dicey later in the day and into Sunday. But I think as far as our game is concerned, it's going to be perfect.
Yeah, that's what we were hearing, so we hope. Well, listen, I have to be honest with you. It has taken me a few days to get my voice back. So you got a thrilling 3-overtime victory last week over Prosper. For you, knowing it's a win or go home game, two things. One, how did you approach that overtime? And then coming into this week, does that have any lingering effect on your ball club?
Well, I think the only effect that it has on any team when you're in a situation like that is positive, because you just, as I've said before on this show, you can't simulate those kind of experiences. And not that you want to necessarily have a close game that goes to overtime, but when you have it, the positive is your kids get that opportunity to store away the knowledge of what it takes to win a close game. And so I think from that standpoint, the lingering effect is going to be that if we get in another one of those this week, we've got the confidence to know what it takes to win at the end. And then I'm trying to remember what the first part of your question was.
Well, just knowing win or go home, what's it like in that moment? Do you call
right,
things differently?
Okay.
I know one of the things John and I said, and I'd like to get your sort of to elaborate on this. One of the things John and I talked about, and I don't know if you've had a chance to listen, but John had a little sore throat action, and my son and I sort of did the second half. And Camden and I talked about this, and that is, overtime, you get a fourth down, you get a third down and 9 or something like that. Do you ever sort of go to your trusty, a 2-point conversion play? The concept was, I know most coaches do this, and I'll bet you're the same. Do you have those sort of back pocket plays, right? The 2 ones where you can say, all right, guys, here's the 2 plays. Which one are we going to choose?
Absolutely. So, I think the 2 things that you lean on in overtime in a situation like that, or a drive at the end of the regulation, and a drive that you got to hit on. Everything is in play, and any of those, I'm not going to say necessarily gimmick plays, because that implies that it's trick plays, but sleight of hand plays that you have that you think can score. That's when you pull those out. And then the other part of it, I think, is that in times like that, you want to run the plays that you feel the best about and get it in the hands of the player that you feel best about. And so, for us, if you notice in overtime the other day, Eli carried the football a lot. in those money situations, because every down in overtime is a money down. And he carried the ball for us a lot. We ran the free screen to open I think the second overtime, or maybe it was the first overtime, a little free screen play that we practiced all year to run in one situation. And we didn't score on it, but we got about 10 yards on it. That was the screen. And then we ran the little trick play that we overthrew. Timing was a little bit off, and I say overthrew, but the timing just wasn't good. Probably threw it a little bit late and didn't have a chance to hit on that when we had an opportunity to score on that play. And then we had another one loaded up that I called timeout because I realized right before the ball snapped that it was not a good look to run it into. We had another little gimmick play that we were going to run. But I just think, the answer to the question is you got to run stuff that you think can score and that you have the most confidence in those situations.
I got you. Well, early on in the game, the storyline was shaping up to be, a game of trading turnovers. Eli and Jackson Berry both toss a pair of interceptions. Your defense just came up brilliantly in the red zone again. Coach, I can't say enough about how those guys have played lately and how that side of the ball has matured. But what can you say about the way things sort of started? And it seemed like, and I know you commented last week that we were moving away from this a little bit, but it seemed like we might have fallen back into sort of like that midseason deal where we really started slow.
Yeah, for sure. We started much slower than we wanted to. I will give a ton of credit to Prosper. Those two defenses on Saturday both just played sensational. And we executed our plan. Everything that we wanted to do when the game had started, everything we expected to see is exactly the way it went. It is just difficult to consistently execute against those guys. It's difficult to make big plays against them. They're such good tacklers. We had a hard time moving the ball, and that's just the bottom line. And I'll say the same thing for our defense. That Prosper offense is very efficient. They've been efficient the entire year. They're not an offense that has typically been scoring 50 a game, but their lowest point output for the entire season was against us the first time we played, and that was 23 points. But they've been a team that's going to score upper 20s to lower 30s almost every week. And you just know when you play them, if you can't score 30, you're probably not going to beat them. And then here we go at regulation. At the end of regulation, it's 10-10.
Yeah. I know John's got the next question, but just from a perspective or observation perspective, you could not have been more spot on with a comment than the tackling was phenomenal on both sides of the ball. I mean, people get their hands on somebody in that ball game, and there just was not a whole lot of yard after contact for sure.
Absolutely not. And so you look at, the grand total of explosive plays in that game was 11, and that was combined. That's a really low total. We had 7 explosive plays in the game, and they had 4. Again, especially a game that goes 3 overtimes, that's a really, really low total number of explosive plays. And I think that a lot of that had to do with tackling. Neither team threw the ball down the field real well in that game, and both teams tackled really well. So, that explains a lot of the really low scoring.
Coach, Stowers had just 88 yards through the air with a TD pass to Jace Wilson, but figured out how to make plays with his legs, especially in overtime with 80 yards. You mentioned kind of the money ball plays, 3 TDs rushing. We noticed when the defense went back on the field that last time it was Stowers that was out on the field serving almost like as Coach Heim, the defensive coordinator, getting them fired up, amped up. What can you say about Eli's effort last week?
Well, he's just all in. He's all in. He's got as deep of an investment in what's going on right now as anybody in this field house, coaches or players, either one. And I think when you get to moments like that in games, it's those guys that are the most heavily invested that are the most the leadership shows up, and they're the ones that are trying to get everybody fired up.
And, the rest of your ground game, B.J. Phillips, Ty, and Aldridge combined for 104 yards on the ground on just 22 carries. like Rick mentioned earlier, Prosper did a nice job tackling those guys, balling them up, containing your ground attack, especially in the short yardage situations.
Yeah, the short yardage plays, and I've just, as a coach, there's an old adage, if you can't gain a yard, you don't really deserve to win the game. And we had two opportunities. We had to gain about a yard, maybe a yard and a half on one of them, and they stopped us both times. And, if we had it all to do over again, we'd probably done it the same way. I've got total confidence that when we need to get a yard, we can get it. It didn't happen for us. We had two unfortunate miscues on both of those plays where we left their best player, number 44, and we left him unblocked both times. And the outcome of that's not going to be great when you turn that sucker loose and don't block him either time. So.
Yeah, Ciano is a monster. We made several comments about him in the first game. He may be one of the most fundamentally sound football players that I've seen since I've been watching Texas high school football. We always joke about it being basketball on grass, and I think it's unfair to say that maybe the defensive talent isn't as good. I know you get that labeled here in this area in the Big 12. I don't know if I would go that far, but certainly players aren't groomed to be defensive monsters, especially like linebacking positions like they are in the South. I mean, I grew up in an area of safeties, tailbacks, and linebackers, right? I mean, that's the way it is. Everything's in that world. So you don't see a whole lot of players in Texas like Aiden Ciano, but yeah, he was an impressive guy. But, your defense played pretty doggone well too. And, we've mentioned this guy a lot, maybe not even enough. But Cooper Lance just had a monster game, 12 tackles. I think he had a couple of sacks, several tackles for loss, of course, the huge field goal block. But not only Cooper, and again, Marquand Pope was just he's just all over the field still.
Yeah, we're just super proud of those guys. They have, as we talked about throughout the season, I use the term work in progress a lot, and we have been a work in progress this entire season in every phase. But it's awesome to see the defense and the improvement that they made throughout the season, factoring in the precipitous number of injuries that we've had, and still, we're still right now without Braden Vallejo. And we've got Dotun back now, but he's just now kind of coming back into form and not having Deuce. And, so we've overcome a lot this year, and just, again, super proud of the way those guys are playing late in the season.
Well, let's get to the big elephant in the room, right? This is a rematch. I know this is your first time in this, but I know you've got a senior position with the Texas Coaches organization, so everybody knows about the miracle at AT&T last year. You got to figure that Cedar Hill has had this game marked for a while if there's an opportunity to get back. Is there such thing as a revenge game with high school kids that's not really it's not a this is not one that they could have guaranteed would happen in the beginning of the year. Like, it's not like a district game. It's not like Geyer playing Ryan. And it's certainly not the same thing in college where you have Texas OU, you have Georgia, Florida, you have Auburn, Alabama. It's not that. But is there anything to that? And have you, on the flip side, tried to tell your kids, look, we got to withstand the blow early, and then we got to play our game. And then after, a little bit of hype and jumping up and down and, we're all overly pumped, it's just going to be a football game between two really good players, and you got to execute.
I agree completely. I think, a lot of that stuff you talk about, rivalry games and revenge games or whatever. And I think a lot of that is hype that happens in the week preceding the game. And, I'm not aware of there being a lot of talk. Maybe on that end of town there's a little bit more, but for us, we're just getting ready to play a football game, and we have not we've not tried to diminish or hype anything about this being Cedar Hill. I mean, it's the state semifinals, and I would say that if you can't get ready to play anybody in the state semifinals, then what are you doing? So We're going to be
Yes,
ready
sir.
to play football. That might be something that they're using as motivation during the course of the week. But I think, to your point, when the ball gets kicked off on Saturday, it's just two really good teams playing each other. And they might be a little bit hyped up early in the game, and there may be a little bit of a wave to sort of withstand early on from an emotional standpoint. But my experience is all that stuff goes away in a hurry, and it just comes down to two teams playing a really important game.
Coach, the big story for Cedar Hill is senior quarterback Caden Salter. He put on a clinic last year, opened up to that big lead against Geyer in that playoff game. This season combined for 3,500 yards, 2,500 through the air, and almost 1,000 rushing, 29 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, and 13 rushing TDs. I think I can help game plan for this one. If you slow down Salter, you win the ball game.
Without question, it all runs through him. The running game and the passing game, as you mentioned, he's also their leading rusher, and it's not even really close. They have a running back that got injured late in the regular season. That was their leading rusher at the time. But there's not a running back on their team right now that's run for more than 200 yards on the season. That's not to say that they don't have some talent there. And some of those low rushing totals are just limited opportunities. But he's going into it with 900 something yards, and not another player on the team has over 200 yards. So I mean, he's certainly the guy in the running game and the passing game. He's got the ability to extend plays. Some quarterbacks they extend plays to throw the ball. Other quarterbacks tuck it and extend a play by scrambling, but he does both. And you can't really say, against that guy that wants to scramble, you say, we're going to build a fence. And we'll give him all day to throw because he wants to tuck it and run it. And then those guys that do not want to tuck it and run it, you say, we're going to come after him. We're bringing the heat. We're going to come after that guy because he does not want to tuck it and run it. Well, this guy, he does both, and he's very elusive. You have to fit right. You can't go, you just can't go out of control to tackle him or he's going to make you miss every time. And one thing I've noticed about him is he's got the ability, he'll scramble and you think to yourself, well, that wasn't a big deal. He scrambled. What did he gain, 3 or 4 yards? And then you look at the sticks, you realize, no, he just ran for 9 yards. Yeah. And he's just one of those guys that has that ability that he's more effective than you think he is, even when it's happening. So there's no doubt he's the key to the deal. They've got some good receivers for sure, and they've got the ability to get open. But it's the quarterback, and it's making him uncomfortable. It's pressuring him. It's punishing him when we have an opportunity to hit him.
Rick and I had a chance to visit with head coach Carlos Lynn for Cedar Hill, and he talked for probably 10 minutes what Caden Salter means to his team, his football IQ, and just a special player. It'd be fun to watch, having a kid like that on the field, and that's what's special about Texas high school football. Well, hey, had a chance to visit with Coach Heim. I talk to him about each and every week, but he's off to a great first season as your defensive coordinator. You've mentioned he spends a ton of time studying the opposition, looking at tendencies. Overall, defensively, what we need to do to slow down a Cedar Hill team that's averaging 37 points a game?
Well, you just, you got to be sound defensively. You got to be sound. You got to fit everything right. You can't, as we just talked a minute ago, you can't give him those lanes, when the option to throw is not there. You can't let him tuck it and give him an open lane to be able to run the football. So you just got to fit right. And then defensively, we've got to be able to cover a larger area of the field than we ever will before or after this game, because that kid can throw it about 70 yards. So just the sheer volume of the square footage that you have to defend on a football field is greater, because he's got the ability to throw it so far, and they'll run deep routes. So they can really spread you out in the back end. We just got to do a really good job holding up. And here's the other thing. They're going to make some plays. They're going to make plays on anybody just because of the athleticism of the quarterback and the nature of how they play offense. So we just have to make sure that when something doesn't go our way, that we play the next play. You got to turn the page and, get the stops. Again, I go back to talking about how good we were in the red zone on Saturday against Prosper. They're going to have opportunities to move the ball on us on Saturday. As long as we're not giving up and waving the white flag, any way we can go about getting off the field, any kind of stop we can get is going to be really good for us.
Yeah, Coach. In our conversation with Carlos Lynn, I said that I watched the kid play last year, and then as I watched how the season of specifically of college football played out, I said that what I thought was the best. I'm not trying to put too much pressure on the kid, but what I said is that the best comparison that I could make to him would be like a Joe Burrow. I mean, the guy just has an uncanny ability to wander around in the pocket until somebody gets open. We noticed it last year. And then when he does run, just like you said, he kind of has those long loping strides, just like Burrow. And he doesn't look, he doesn't look unbelievably athletic. I mean, he's not like a say a Miami, not like Derek King who gets out of the backfield and he's jitterbugging, running around and, or a Michael Vick or whatever. He just sort of lopes away from everybody. You can't tackle him. And then he runs out of bounds. And like you said, you're like, holy crap, he just gained 9 yards. It's crazy. But his ability to just sort of really just meander around back there until somebody gets open. And then, like you said, throw the ball half a mile. And you just can't cover forever. But anyway, offensively, I think you made a great point is you're going to do the best you can defensively to, somewhat slow him down or contain him or whatever. But the key to playing a team like this is, you're going to have to make a couple of key stops, but you're going to have to score. I mean, there's no two ways about it this week. You're going to have to score. I'm sure they have some good athletes. I don't know that they're defensively that they're as strong as like Prosper was, but what are you going to do this week as far as spreading the ball around, maybe coming out of your tendencies while maintaining what we do best? How are you going to attack this Cedar Hill team knowing that you're going to have to put up points?
Yeah, our goal this week offensively is, and I know I sound like a broken record, but our goal is to stay as balanced as we can stay. That's very important. We've had a little bit of trouble the last 3 or 4 weeks being balanced, but that's our goal in every week. And I think one thing that's going to be important this week is balance between run and pass, but also balance in the run game where we're going to have to give Eli a lot of opportunities to read defenders, pull the ball, give the ball, and we've got different ways to do that this week. Nothing completely different than what's on our offensive menu, but we're leaning on that a little bit more this week. And then I think playing at a good tempo. They're a simple defense. They're a 4-3 cover 2. It does not blitz a whole lot. We don't expect them to be any different against us. We feel like it's a team we can line up and we can play fast against. And so. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think, we've got to be able to put points on the board. This is not going to be a 10-10 game going to overtime this week. So offensively, it's just going to be important that we execute great, hit the shots that we have opportunities to hit, and hang on to the football.
All right. How about this, Coach Webb? So I had with all the holidays and some of the games that we played, I seem to have like the easy sort of go-to question of the week. But this week, I did not have like an immediate theme. So I went to the internet, which is what we always do now, right? So I Googled interesting questions or maybe weirdest questions. That's what I did. Weirdest questions to ask football coaches in an interview.
Hey, as a disclaimer, Geyer fans, I do not condone whatever this question is. This is all Rik Thrailkill.
It's okay, Coach. It's PG-13, I promise. And believe it or not, example after example after example after example on Google came up of this same thing. So I figured if it's good enough for first-round draft picks at the Combine, it's good enough for Coach Rodney Webb's coaches show. So if you came back to this world as an animal, would you rather be a cat or a dog?
Well, that's a really good question. I am a dog person, but I will say that I think if I were to come back, I think I would come back as a cat.
Yeah. Big game cat, or just like the one that just gets to sit around and be pampered all the time?
Right. No, I would definitely want to be a house cat. but not for the purposes of being pampered. I think I'd want to be a house cat because I don't ever know what cats are thinking, and I think that it would be good to come back and have this whole this whole attitude of nobody knows what I'm thinking. And, I do believe that anytime I see a cat, it's plotting my death one way or another. And so I kind of think if I had that to hold over people, the other thing with cats is they really don't care. They don't know their name. They don't have to answer to anybody. You're not asking a cat to sit or roll over.
They don't.
So I think definitely cat. No, they don't fetch. All right, none of that.
Can you believe, Coach? In all seriousness now, that is the most commonly asked sort of misdirection question to professional athletes at the combine.
That's hilarious. And I've never heard
John,
it before.
That's my craziness for the week. And if you'll notice, it once again, just like footy pajamas and favorite meals, it is a PG question, Coach.
Good job, Rick. Well, Coach, we had a great crowd last week as anticipated. We talked earlier, weather's going to be in the low 50s. If there's no rain, we anticipate another big crowd at McKinney ISD Stadium today. How do you like playing here in McKinney?
Well, it's a great stadium. It's a great location. But the biggest thing is that the good folks over at McKinney ISD do a great job of hosting. I think they do a great job creating a good game day atmosphere for the players, but also think they do a really good job just administrating the game and the way the tickets are handled and all that. I'm sure everybody doesn't agree with me on that, but I think all things considered, they do as good of a job of hosting a playoff game as anybody out there. So I'm excited to get back there again. This will be my third playoff game to play there, and it's been a great experience every time.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us again this week. For my partner, Rik Thrailkill, I'm John Piper. Stay tuned. We are moments away from kickoff versus the Cedar Hill Longhorns with a return trip to the state championship looming. Stay tuned to the Geyer Football Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Thinking of buying or selling your home? Lisa Morris and Shannon Piper with the Cloud Realty team have been serving the DFW area for over 15 years. They specialize in residential buying, residential selling, and work with investors all over the Metroplex. Call them today at 469-300-1109 or go to txcloudrealty.com and check out their 5-star reviews. Contact Lisa and Shannon today to find your next dream home.
The law office of Kimberly N. Shanklin voted the best criminal law office in Denton County 6 years in a row. She and her team are focused on family law and select criminal cases. As a proud Wildcat herself, she will offer any member of the Geyer community a free initial consultation. Kimberly's primary objective is to deliver outstanding results for each of her clients in the most cost-effective manner possible. For more information and to schedule a consultation, visit shanklinlawfirm.com or call her office at 940-382-8216. Marty, I've always enjoyed the range of menu items, whether you want to go in there for just an appetizer or a full entree. Talk to us a little bit about the selection there at Marty B's.
Yeah, thank you, John. The menu was uniquely crafted with a couple things in mind, and one thing I'm most proud of is that all of our meats are hormone-free, antibiotic-free, humanely raised, and fed an all-natural diet. So it truly makes a difference in the quality and of the flavor of the food. For example, we're primarily barbecue is what we serve the largest amount of. And so all of our Tex-Mex options have smoked meats that we use to prepare those items. And then we have one of the best hamburgers you'll ever put your mouth around. All of our beef comes from 44 Farms down in Cameron, Texas. We cut our New York strip, our filet, and our ribeye in-house. And then all of the trimmings from that we fresh ground into our hamburger patty. And then we have our buns fresh baked from a bakery down in Houston. Unbelievable burger. And then, of course, the steaks speak for themselves, some of the best steaks you'll ever eat. So our menu is wide in range, but narrow in that it's just super focused on quality. So come out and enjoy salads, steaks, tacos, burgers. We have it all.
Marty, anytime we have friends or family come in from out of town, we always take them to Marty B's place because it's such a great Texas experience, and everybody just loves it. So check them out at martybsplace.com, and we'll see you there. Take care, fans. BudBartleyHomes.com is one of the area's finest home builders, locally owned and operated for over 30 years. 3 new neighborhoods to choose from: Sunset Point, a 1/3 to half-acre Lakeview lots, only a 3 to 4 minute walk to Lake Grapevine's Twin Coves Marina. Watch the Gaylord Texans summertime fireworks show from your brand new home. Low-maintenance single-story homes in Highland Village from the upper 400s, and 2-acre lots are available in Copper Canyon. BudBartleyHomes.com, they can build on your lot or theirs. Bud Bartley Homes has built homes for many of the area's top realtors and other industry professionals. We are confident the team at Bud Bartley will exceed your expectations. Take it from me, John Piper. They built my home over 15 years ago. The excitement is building at BudBartleyHomes.com.
I'm Liz Thrailkill. Did you know sudden cardiac arrest is the #1 cause of death on school campuses? Living for Zachary is on a mission to change that, one kid at a time. Living for Zachary provides youth heart screenings for kids ages 12 through 22 and donates AEDs or automated external defibrillators to youth-based organizations. When it comes to your kid's heart, there's not a reason to wait. Geyer High School is a proud partner for Living for Zachary. My son Cam is an example of early detection. Living for Zachary and his heart screening from Living for Zachary may have saved his life. To find out more and register for a heart screening, visit livingforzachary.org and click on screenings. Do it today and go Wildcats!
All right, everyone, welcome back to McKinney ISD Stadium. And for this week's playoff game between the Geyer Wildcats and the
Cedar Hill Longhorns.
I'm sorry, I think it is. Let's keep rolling. All right, everyone. I think I got a little bit of technical glitch there in my ear, my headset. So welcome back this week. We are expecting today, John, probably the best game of the year, certainly the biggest challenging game of the year for the Geyer Wildcats. These two guys played an epic game last year, and I'm hoping for some excitement, but maybe not a 35-point deficit for the Wildcats to overcome today.
Yeah, a couple things, Rick. You know, one thing that kind of surprised us last week at the end of regulation, Prosper and Geyer, two fairly explosive offenses, end 10-10. And we know that Geyer's going to have to put a lot more points on the board today, and they're going to have to slow down that explosive offensive attack led by senior quarterback Caden Salter that has just been phenomenal all season long. We visited with Coach Carlos Lynn earlier this week, and he talked probably for 15 minutes just about Caden Salter and what he means to this program at Cedar Hill.
Yeah, I tell you, the thing, John, about Caden Salter is that, it's not just any one thing that he does really well. You know, he does everything well. He can run when he needs to. If he gets out of the pocket, he can make things happen with his legs. But the beauty of Caden Salter and the real success that he has is that he can buy time in the pocket until his guys can get open, and then he can throw it a half a mile. I mean, I heard people say that he could throw the ball 70 yards. So it really puts pressure on your secondary to stay with their men downfield, and they have to have a lot of eye discipline. You know, you can't be looking around and lose track of your guys. So it'll be interesting today what sort of defense they try to deploy against Salter, whether they try to really bring some pressure on him. And you can have some success that way, but if you bring pressure on a quarterback with good legs like that, and you're playing man to man, you get a guy can avoid the rush, and then he takes off down the field, and you got a bunch of secondary guys with their back to the quarterback. You're in trouble.
Yeah, Rik Salter, this year has accounted for 2,400 yards. 2,400 yards through the air, 29 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 146 rushes for almost 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns. He's been phenomenal all year long.
Yeah, and he's been the bulk of their running attack, John. I mean, if you look, I know they did lose their starting tailback late in the year to an injury. I do not believe that he will be back today. But even when you consider that, I think Caden Salter has almost 900-plus yards rushing this year, John, and I think the nearest rusher to that is somewhere around 300. So, yeah, everything definitely revolves around Caden Salter. A couple of outstanding receivers as well for these guys, led by number 3, senior Julian Austin, 6 foot, 175-pound Julian Austin. We expect him to be explosive today, no doubt. Also, Kevin Young Jr., who is one of their outstanding young players, is a big play waiting to happen. He's a return specialist for them. So, they've got great athletes all over the field, John. I mean, you just look at some of these offers. Defensively, they have Charles Esters, who's headed to Texas Tech, Amarian Williams, a Liberty signee, Brett Lynch, the senior safety, University of Central Arkansas, Stephen Ingram, UTSA offers, Yaheem Lowe offers just about everywhere, UTSA, Boise State, and then on the offensive side of the ball, of course, we talked about Caden Salter. He's an early entry signee to the University of Tennessee there. He's an SEC guy. Javion Clemmer is headed to New Mexico State. Kevin Young, multiple D1 offers we talked about, including one in a local place here in North Texas.
Yeah, good stuff. Man, we're expecting another great crowd today, Rick. Geyer is in the tunnel. Man, great turnout in this double-decker stadium here at McKinney ISD Stadium. Probably had the best crowd all season long last week. It's a little cooler today. Blue Crew is out in force. And speaking of Blue Crew, let's get a little insight from Koency Hord, who's been with us most of this season. He was at that game last year at AT&T Stadium. Koency, what was that atmosphere like during that comeback, that miracle at AT&T Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, in the stands, it got pretty dark there for a little bit. But, all of a sudden, you're down by 27. You recover 3 straight onside kicks and you're back in the game. So, looking for some real Geyer spirits tonight and maybe another Geyer miracle. Who knows?
Well, yeah, it was special. I think there was a clip. I don't know if you guys heard it, but the clip, about 2.5 minutes of all the recap of the onside kicks and the scores, and Rick calling that game. Well, what a memorable game last year, Rick, that we were able to call there at AT&T Stadium. And, man, we were just worn out after that. And I know you were almost at a loss for words and out of breath after that game was over.
Yeah, and the funny thing, John, is we had to turn around and do 4 games after that in order to get to the state championship. But, it was really unbelievable. Something that, for me, was what you think of it, from a broadcasting perspective, you think of it sort of like as a one-in-a-lifetime type experience. And then, early on in our broadcasting relationship, we were able to do that. So early on in our broadcasting relationship, John, we were able to do that. It's sort of a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But hopefully today's game will be just as exciting as you see the Geyer Wildcats today on the field, and they will be in there ready to hear the national anthem. So we'll All right, John, I'll tell you, another beautiful game here in beautiful weather day here. A little bit cooler this week. Highs are going to be around 48 degrees today here, but no wind. Again, the flags are virtually, drooped to the ground at the top of the poles here, and another big crowd too.
Yeah, man, you can feel the electricity in the air. The Geyer band's out here. The Cedar Hill band's out here. It feels like a real football game for really just the second time all year. Last week it was very similar. Both bands were able to participate. And, man, what an exciting day. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are the Geyer Football Radio Network. Rik Thrailkill, Koency Hord. I'm John Piper. Thank you for being a part of this all season long. We didn't know we were even going to have football at the beginning of the year, and here it is, January the 9th. And we're playing football.
Yeah, I'll tell you, John, it's something else. It's fantastic. I'm so happy that we've been able to make it to this point. I'm happy for the kids, happy for the coaches. And it's game time here in Dallas. The Cedar Hill Longhorns won the toss. They deferred. They're going to pooch kick it down here to the Wildcats. 22, Peyton Bowen comes up to receive that ball. He's knocked down immediately at the 31, and that's where the Wildcats will take over. 1st and 10, right to left on your radio dial.
Yeah, Coach had a chance to visit with Coach Heim this week as well, first-year defensive coordinator. Hey, it's good to see Coach Ramsey, a longtime defensive coordinator of the Geyer Wildcats, is here to see his defense that he helped assemble play today. So good to see him here at McKinney ISD Stadium.
All right, here he goes. Stowers starts the thing off. He's going to look to his right, going to run the quarterback draw. He's going to stick it right up in there. Not a whole lot of room to run. He is brought down. Let me check that number in there. 32, Charles Esters, and number 50, Jalen Wilson in on that tackle. Right back to the line, offset in a stack formation, going to take in hand inside and really nowhere to run there. Brought down by 8, Stephen Ingram, one of those outstanding linebackers, John. 3rd down now, and the gain on that play was 1. We'll call it 7 yards. Then Geyer goes right back to the line. Eli Stowers now going to take, he's going to fake, and he's going to look and throw out here, and he's got Snowball, and he is open down the sidelines. Big play there for the Geyer Wildcats, all the way down into the Longhorn territory, all the way down to the 41-yard line where he is tackled over there by number 10, Yaheem Lowe. 1st down and 10. Wildcats go quickly, twins right. Stowers going to take, fake, fire again to Stovall down the middle, and that one's overthrown.
Yes, Cy Stovall, not head coach, but Mitch Stovall, a longtime coach here at Geyer's son. Probably his longest play from scrimmage, that previous play. He had some open running room, wasn't sure what to do. He saw so much green space in front of him.
Yeah, Stowers again takes, fakes, looks. A little bit of pressure. He's going to get out on the right, and he's going to throw this thing away. Flags all over the place. In the secondary, though, John, look at that. That is typically a defensive holding or interference type call. The ball not in the air. I'd look for maybe some defensive holding on this one, John. Yeah, pressure in there by nose tackle, one of those guys in the middle, big 50, Jalen Wilson. And defensive holding is the call, John. That'll be 10 yards and a 1st down for the Wildcats, down to the 33.
Yeah, nice break for the Wildcats. They've already moving the ball down in great field position early in this first quarter. If you're just now tuning in, we just started, 10:49 left in the first quarter. 0-0. First possession, the Geyer Wildcats have the ball.
Yeah, Geyer now twins high up on the right side. Stowers got B.J. Phillips in the backfield behind me. Hands inside to Phillips. Pounds ahead. Very little gain on the play, John. Call it 2, 2nd down and 8. And as we see Geyer do all the time, they're right back at the line of scrimmage. Stowers hollering out the play to his offensive line. Again with Phillips to his right. Take, fake, look, gonna fire down the middle of the field to Wilson, high, and it is incomplete, dropped. Wide open there, Wilson, and he had both hands on the ball, went right through his hands. Number 4, Tyron Bird in coverage. That'll bring up third down at 8. Get the picture today. Gorgeous day. Geyer in all black, silver helmets. Cedar Hill in those gray uniforms with red helmets, red shoes, half of them too. It's really a beautiful contrasting look here on the field. Stowers got trips to his right. Big play right here for the Wildcats. Gonna take and drop straight back. Quick pressure up the middle. Stowers gonna roll left, flags everywhere. He's just gonna have to throw this thing out of bounds. And John, I think we're gonna get a holding penalty on the Geyer offensive line as people are trying to keep their.
All right, Geyer fans, thank you again for tuning in. We are here at McKinney ISD Stadium. John Piper along with Rik Thrailkill. Man, Rick, good to be back here at McKinney ISD Stadium.
Yeah, it is, and I'll tell you, John, it is. It's going to be an exciting game, no doubt. Geyer here's going to force a field goal. They're going to put it down at the 38. This will be a 48-yard field goal. It's down. The kick is up. There's plenty of leg, and it is. No, that one's off to the left. Just missed that one as it goes off to the left. And several of the Cedar Hill defenders let us know about it there as they were heading off to the field. So a little bend, but no break from the Cedar Hill defense. And
yeah, we can see the huge American flag and the Texas flag in this. Let me get my bearings right in this north end zone. And there is some wind. It looks like it is moving right to left and may have had an impact on that ball. Michael Mayfield's been a sure-footed kicker. It just drifted a little bit left and misses wide left.
Yeah, it looks like things just kicked up here as we speak. All right, trips down here close to us. Caden Salter back, looking, fires right across the middle, complete. That is number 12. That is, check that number, that's 12. Brian Rainey on the catch for Cedar Hill. Gain on that play is 16 yards and a big first down out to the 46-yard line.
Yeah,
Marquand Pope on the tackle.
Everything runs through number 7, Caden Salter, the Tennessee commit, makes it happen for Cedar Hill, and that's going to be the key today for this Geyer defense. They got to figure out a way to slow down number 7.
Yeah, Salter now in the backfield. Got a stack formation, going to send Rainey in motion, take and hand inside to his running back. Check that number, that's 14. Kylan Ashton on the carry. Gain on the play of about 4, John. Brought down over here by 11, that's Carson Parham. Second down and 6.
The Geyer defense, Rick, is really coming into their own in this 3-4. I know it was an adjustment under Coach Heim. But Holden Prosper, only 10 points in regulation last week, was big.
Yeah, here we go. Salter again. Trips up on the left side. He's by himself in the backfield. Going to take and throw quickly out on the left. This one complete to Anthony Thomas, the 4th. And nice little play as they're going to line him up in a lot of spaces, John. That time they lined him up, a little slot back on the left side. Got him out there quickly, open. We expect to see a lot of number 1 today. That gain on that is 11 yards and a first down.
Yeah, nice dump pass to the left flat and a good run after the catch. Moves the chains for Cedar Hill. They don't go quite as fast as Geyer. They're getting the play in from the sideline. They got some, looks like a Rubik's Cube over there that they got some chart they're using to get the play in to Caden Salter.
Yeah, trips down here on the right. Now a little bit of motion back into the backfield. Salter backs into the pistol and runs it straight off right side. A big play. Really like that play design, John, as they brought the slot guy back inside into a pistol and handed out here out on the right side. Let me check that number as he put him back in motion. I think that's 16 Callahan on the gain there. Nice play, 12 yards, first down.
Cedar Hill is moving south towards the enclosed part of the stadium. It's like a big giant field house, but I don't think anybody uses this as a field house because it's a shared stadium. But nice facilities here.
Yeah, again, 14, Ashton in the backfield. Beside Salter, going to send Rainey in motion. Fake. Now he's going to keep it himself on the right side. Little quarterback counter. Tackle in there by 16, Foster, John. And that's the first time we've seen Salter use his legs today.
One of the storylines as we visit with Coach Carlos Lynn of the Cedar Hill Longhorns this week, Rick, they only had one returning offensive lineman, Carlos Peoples, their senior center, goes at 6'2", 295. He says they've had to play musical chairs a lot this year, much like the Guyer Wildcats on that offensive line.
Yeah, and I think you'll see Peoples and Jaden Coker even alternate between guard and center as they've had to really move Peoples along that line. Salter straight back. He steps up in the pocket. He fires into the corner, and that one's going to be incomplete, out of bounds. Intended for 3 Austin over there, defended by 17 Fugit, and nice coverage there by Jaden as he just used the sideline as his friend there, John, and forced that play out of bounds. No real chance for a completion there.
Yeah, smart play by Salter. He didn't really have anything there. He just kind of tossed it out of bounds, out of the corner of the end zone. Didn't want to force a turnover early. Last week it was a game of turnovers early in the first half.
Yeah, 3rd down and 7 now. Salter by himself in the backfield. Got trips up here on the left side. Going to take, drop straight back. Little bit of pressure from Guyer. Now he's going to avoid that and going to fire out here on the right. And he's got Rady open, and he is down inside the 5. And there it again, John. 7 with those legs, just magical. He gets away from pressure, and instead of just forcing it, taking off, keeps his eyes open. He finds Rainey wide open. Big play.
That's exactly what makes Caden Salter so dangerous. He was in the grasp. Looked to take about a 12 or even a 15-yard loss in the sack. Somehow spins out of it and finds a receiver in the flat. And he made some magic happen out of nothing.
All right, here we go. Salter. Now they got the ball at the 3-yard line. 16 Callahan beside him. Now you're going to move him to the other side. Guyer adjusts their defense. Going to put somebody in motion. Going to fake. And that Salter tries to run right up the middle, John. And he ran into some angry defensive players there, led by 11, Carson Parham. No gain.
Yeah, he lowers his head much like a fullback would, and he ran right into a brick wall, led, like you said, by linebacker Carson Parham, who's in there. Had a nice game last week, and then there were a couple other defenders. I think Marquand Pope came in there to make sure he didn't get any extra yards, but nice job by that Guyer defense, brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, trips on the left side for Salter as he's taking his time here, John. We'll talk about this in a second as he looks to the sidelines. Got his play now. 21, Chris Allen checked into the game at running back. Going to send Thomas in motion again back. Going to run the option play, and this time Salter spins to the goal line. Still can't get in. Nice defensive play there. A lot of guys in there in that middle. It looks like Foster and certainly 33, Marquand Pope and Cooper Lance on the bottom of that thing as they hold him to little gain, but still just outside the 1, John. 3rd down and goal here for the Longhorns. What do you think you're going to expect? You got a big stack formation in there
They
now.
called Salter's number twice in a row. I think you got to mix it up. We'll see. They got
trips on the right side. Salter just going to keep it. He's going for the corner, and he's going to walk in, John. Nobody there to touch him, and with 5 minutes and 23 seconds to go here early in the game, much like last year, the Longhorns strike first.
Yeah, a lot of confidence in Caden Salter to call his number 3 times in a row. You knew that Guyer defense was keying on him, and they couldn't keep him out of the end zone.
Yeah, and you know, that time he tried to get – they really blocked that well, John. Guyer tried to get some quick pressure on the corner, maybe even push him deep in the backfield. But he got a nice little turn block there from the tight end on Cedar Hill, the right side of their offensive line there. And Salter just walks into the end zone. Snap, hold, good, and kick is good. So, John, it's 7-0 early. Both teams moved the ball, but where the Wildcats bogged down, the Longhorns didn't. And a big part of that was we saw early on a big 3rd down and long. Salter scrambles, gets time, finds somebody open, makes a big play.
Yeah, I think in our weekly visit with Coach Webb, he mentioned there's going to be a lot more points scored today, or at least he anticipates it. And he's going to have to counter-punch the Cedar Hill Longhorns to compete today and earn a berth in the state title game next week at AT&T Stadium. Hey, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We did our producer, Kyle Rogers, had to work today, so he wasn't able to join us. But I believe we got Rick's mic tuned up and tweaked, so thank you for the notes. We always appreciate your feedback. I know Shannon Metter is tuning in, Bo Peacock. Quite a few other people today, the Hunters, Carrie Crabtree, on and on and on. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Guyer Football Radio Network.
Yeah, again, this time we go to kick the ball off and we get whistles. No flags. I think maybe the referees just weren't set for the kickoff there. And Geyer takes advantage of that, John, by running another player onto the field. They only had 10 men on the field. So let's see if the Longhorns stick with their pooch kick mentality here, try to keep the ball out of Geyer's playmakers there. Sometimes if you don't have somebody kick it all the way through the end zone, it's really the better, most effective play. And there we're going to get the same thing, and Geyer's going to run up, fair catch that ball around the 28. That's where they'll start. Again, 1st and 10. You hate to say that early in the game that something's critical, but unlike Prosper, this Cedar Hill team is certainly explosive. And you mess around, they can throw 21, 28 points on you in a hurry. So I'd like to see Geyer put some points on the board here, see if we can keep from shooting ourselves on the foot down here and keep this thing tight and make sure it's a one-possession game as much as you can.
You know, Geyer beat Cedar Hill twice last year. Geyer's always scheduled top opponents early prior to district play. I'll finish that thought here in just a moment.
Okay, here we go. Stowers. Now, he's got twins on the left, short stack. With Stovall going to take and going to fake and keep on the right side. And there he goes. He is off and running. 3 Stowers. He's at the 30, 20, 10. No one will catch him. Touchdown, Wildcats. And just like we said, John, quickly, the Wildcats strike back. Eli Stowers, 68 yards.
Stowers has been an X factor. When he doesn't get it done through the air, he's been getting it done with his legs, and he shows everybody in this stadium that he can flat out get it done. He just takes off down the right side, off at right tackle, and outran everybody, Rick. Probably the biggest burst of speed we've seen all year from Eli Stowers.
Yeah, there's one thing that's for sure about Eli Stowers, and we were concerned early in the year about whether he would have his legs completely back coming off the knee surgery. I have to commend the coaching staff here, Coach Webb and his offensive staff. They used Eli's legs very sparingly early in the year. You could tell even when Eli was throwing the ball early in the year that there's a difference in throwing in 7-on-7 and when people are rushing at you. Even if they don't hit you, you have that worry. So we saw him be a little bit tentative early in the year. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of speed on that Longhorn sideline. And nobody anywhere near number 3.
Much like a good Kentucky thoroughbred, easing him in a couple early races before that first Saturday in May. And when it's time to run for the roses, and it's kind of like a derby-type environment here today. And, wow, what a horse to have in your stable right there, Eli Stowers. He's definitely 100%.
Yeah, well, we saw what Eli can do on the back stretch right there, right? So, yeah, he got to about the 50-yard line, John, and from our view, that's an easy call from my seat because there was nobody catching him.
Hey, congratulations to our friends in the community. The Denton Ryan Raiders won a big game last night. First time they were really challenged. It was a one-point game in the fourth quarter, and they just pulled it out. Played great. Congratulations, Coach Hennigan, and the Ryan Raiders are on their way to another state championship game next week at AT&T Stadium.
All right, here we go. Geyer set now. They've got the twin kickers. Again, this time they're going to do their version of the pooch. This one high and deep down to the 15. Good coverage from the Wildcats. Can we stick him down there? Yeah. Ryan Fritcher, great coverage there. Going to stop number 28.
Hey, Ryan Fritcher's been a good story. He left for a year, went down to Flower Mountain, came back. He's been a role player, plays a lot of special teams. And when Geyer's had big leads, he gets in there as a running back with some good speed. Nice play there by Fritcher to prevent a big return by Cedar Hill. They're going to start on about the 23.
Yeah, knocked down Jalen Peoples there when it looked like he might have a little bit of hold to jump through there. All right, interesting formation here from the Longhorns. You got quad sets up on the left side, going to send somebody in motion. And this time, fake the option, and 7, Salter going to keep it right up the middle. Nice little play. The read option has become a stalwart for all offensive football teams one way or another. But that was an interesting little way to get into what was simple an outside read. And they caught the Geyer inside defensive line in the linebackers in a little bit of movement there, John. Nice little pickup 9-yard gain from Salter. Snap, Salter this time just takes and runs it right up the middle. And Cooper Lanza makes a stop, but no doubt about what that play was for.
Short yardage situation. He only needed like 1.5, and Salter just keeps it right off right guard. Nice job by that right guard, doing some blocking. It is a little easier to run in short yardage against this 3-4, but your starters for Guyer, Dotun there at the nose guard, Rowan Briggs, number 9 at left end, and Cooper Lands, number 7 there at the right end.
All right, this time Salter drops back, still looking. Now going to move out on the left end. Nice play. Ball's on the ground, and the Wildcats have it. Another superb play by 7, Cooper Lance, and he is a man among boys.
Yeah, Lance had 12 tackles last week, came up big and blocked that field goal attempt to really switch the momentum, and catches Caden Salter from behind, shows some nice speed for a big man, knocks the ball loose with that big bear paw, and Guyer comes up with the first turnover of the ball game in great field position, Rick. 3 minutes and 53 seconds left. We're knotted up at 7s, which should be a barn burner. Thanks for being with us.
All right, 3. Stowers going to take and hand wide to B.J. Phillips on the left. He's going to stick his foot in the ground, head upfield, pick up about 3. Tackle over there by 95 Black for the Longhorns. Second down and 7 for the Wildcats. And again, they go right back to the line of scrimmage. Stack formation to the right of Eli. Twins going to send number 19, Grayson O'Bara, in motion. First sighting from 19. And, John, the first time we've seen him on the field today. Stowers up front on the quarterback draw. Gets about 5. Bring up third down and very short yardage, and there's an injury on the field.
Cedar Hill runs a 4-4-3 style defense. Their starters across the front. Defensive end, number 56, Harvey Dyson, goes at 6'3", 260, just a junior. Left defensive tackle, Sincere Massey, 6'4", 290, just a junior. Number 90, right defensive tackle, Jalen Wilson, 5'10", 260, number 50, a junior. And the right defensive end, Charles Esters III, 6'4", 255, and a senior, number 32. In their linebacking core, number 11, Damari Ward, 6 foot, 200-pound senior. Middle linebacker, number 10, Jaheim Lowe, 6'1", 215 senior. And the strong side linebacker, number 8, Stephen Ingram, 6 foot, 2 1/4. And, Rick, we got a player down there.
Yeah, it's number 11. It's Damari Ward, one of those linebackers, and he looks like he's in some pain, John.
Yeah, he's been on the field for a good couple minutes. We won't speculate on his injury, but
yeah, he's sitting up now. So we'll hope the best for young Damari Ward. Looks like they're trying to pick him up here. So for Cedar Hill's sake, let's hope he can get back in the game. But he's really not being able to put a lot of pressure on that.
Yeah, that right leg, I don't know if it's an ankle or rounding out that defense, left cornerback number 9, Amarian Williams, 6'1", 175-pound senior. Free safety number 6, Brett Lynch, 5'10", 175-pound senior. Strong safety number 2, Kendall Stevens, 6 foot, 195-pound senior. And the right cornerback number 4, Tyron Bird, 6'2", 195-pound senior. Rick, you just heard that, man. They've got some athletes across the defensive side of the ball, and I'm sure just like Guyer, next man up, if Damari Ward can't make it back in, they'll have some more players to fill that spot.
Yeah, Stowers going to take and hand quickly inside B.J. Phillips. He pounds forward for about 3.5 yards, but easily moves the chains, John. He's at the 24-yard line. 3 minutes, 1 second to go here in the first half, John. Guyer is driving now inside the 25-yard line of the Longhorns after that big turnover, and let's see if they could put some points on the board off that turnover. Stowers, Twins to his right, takes. Now going to run that quarterback draw. He's got some room up the middle. Gain on the play about 5. They shut that thing down quick. Who's that, 10? Jaheim Lowe, yeah, the middle linebacker. But still, good play for the Wildcats. Second down and 2. They stay ahead of the chains.
Yeah, Guyer, big offensive line. Gabe Blair, Nathan Penny.
Number 3, Eli Stowers, back to, let's see, hands off. On the right side, this is B.J. Phillips, and he is going to pound that thing forward, John. That's a 7-8-yard gain and another first down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, good to see B.J. Getting off to a good start here in this first quarter, Rick. He's kind of been held in check the last couple weeks. He's had some big play capability all season long.
Yeah, here we go. Stowers again. Offset, stack left, fake, fires up and high, and I'm not sure You got number 5, Jace Wilson, running a slant, and Eli Stowers throwing that ball to the corner, though the two not on the same page there. 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, definitely some miscommunications in the route or the play call. And, Jace, having one-on-one coverage over there, he typically has about a 4 or 5 inch advantage on those defensive backs. Just not a good play right there.
Yeah, clearly they're not on the same page. Okay, stack formation on the right side. Going to send 19 O'Bara in motion. Going to hand it to him on the right side. And he gets away from one tackler, but gain on the play is only about 3.5. They had that thing strung out there pretty good. Not a bad job there by O'Bara, though, to get ahead for some positive yardage. So you're going to be 3rd down now, and let's see. They can make a 1st down, John, right about the 1. So we'll call this 3rd and 6 from the 7-yard line.
Yeah, good to see Grayson O'Bara back. That just adds another element that the Longhorns have to defensive scheme against. Takes it up top. I think he's been out about 7 weeks now, so it's good to have him back.
Yeah, he almost was available last week, came out pregame, tried to go, just couldn't get that hamstring loose enough. Stowers now rolls out. He's in trouble, and he goes down. Huge play there. Check that number, 20, Joey Johnson. You just talked about it, John. Somebody, next player up, that's Joey Johnson. He is the reserve middle linebacker, backs up Yaheem Lowe, and he got his chance, backs up Damari Ward, and he got his chance, and he made it happen.
Yeah, there was a blitz package on, and he came right through that left side, and Eli Stowers had nowhere to go. As soon as he looked up, he was in the grass.
All right, Mayfield set to kick the field goal. This time the ball is down at the 23. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And with 38 seconds to go here in the first quarter, John, the Wildcats snatch the lead back up there 10-7. We're going to throw this one to our sponsors. They keep us on the air, and we'll be right back in a minute.
Thinking of buying or selling your home? Lisa Morris and Shannon Piper with the Cloud Realty team have been serving the DFW area for over 15 years. They specialize in residential buying, residential selling, and work with investors all over the Metroplex. Call them today at 469-300-1109 or go to txcloudrealty.com and check out their 5-star reviews. Contact Lisa and Shannon today to find your next dream home.
All right, we're back live here at McKinney ISD Stadium, where the Wildcats have taken a 10-7 lead on the strong leg of Mike Mayfield. And the Wildcats will kick off one more time into that little bitty crosswind. Again, John, it's died down a little bit now. And they're going to boom this one a little bit deep on the left side. And that's going to drive Rainey all the way back inside the 10. And he's going to try to take it out on the right side. And he is in trouble, John. And down at the 14-yard line. And that is 3, Jaden Powell. And number 8, check that number, 8. Yep, Logan McDermott, another super special team.
Yeah, we've heard his
play
name a lot this year.
Logan
and,
McDermott.
A game like today, we haven't seen special teams really factor in a lot this season, but today might just be that day, Rick. And that was a big play by the kickoff team to really collapse in. He had some running room to the right, or if he would have taken up the center, he tried to string it out to the right side towards the Geyer sideline, and it collapsed on him. Cedar Hill in pretty tough field position starting on their 15.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, John, as we get a handoff inside and really not a lot of running room, decent job there by the Cedar Hill back to get that thing up there and get a little bit of yardage on that play. Check the number, that's 16. 16, Jaden Callahan, on that run. This gray jersey, I tell you, the uniform from Cedar Hills it's really sharp, but the white numbers have like a red trim on them, and sometimes the 6s and the 8s, they get wrinkled up on the jerseys. It's a little bit difficult to see, especially the running backs when people are grabbing their jerseys.
Hey, Rick, as you know, it's not always easy to get on the air. I know ABC has challenges. CNN, you name it. We got a note here on the feed that the NFHS network is either not showing the game or having some technical issues. So if you're joining us, if you just came over to the radio stream from the NFHS network, we're glad you're here.
Yeah, that last week they were in the booth beside us, and unless they are...
Well, that was a CW33.
Oh, okay, my
that was
bad.
on the CW33. Yeah,
Right.
But thank you. We are the Guyer Football Radio Network. We've been here all season long, each and every week. And, Rick, man, starting the second quarter, this is kind of shaped up kind of like we expected. A tough, hard-nosed ball game. Man, what are you seeing from the Guyer Wildcats so far that's impressed you?
Well, I can tell you the one thing that's obvious, and that is that Guyer Wildcats secondary, again, is showing their might. I mean, Salter, nobody's open deep down the field. So even when he was able to use his legs, make some room, that was really more on Brian Rainey, the running back, because he only threw that ball about 8 yards. Rainey made a couple people miss, got all the way down inside the 5. They have not had anyone open downfield, even when Salter's able to buy time. So great job once again this week from that secondary. Now motion, 12 Rainey. Salter going to look straight ahead and nowhere to go. They got him spied pretty well, but he just gets through there and limp legs a couple of defenders and picks up about 10 yards and a first down, John. Tackle over there, 33, Marquand Pope. Sure-handed Marquand Pope, but not before a gain on a play gives the Longhorns first down. Another injured man, John.
Yeah, Marquand Pope has come up big all year. Reese Waddell at the Denton Record Chronicle did a
Speaking
feature.
of big, John, this looks like it's number 74, Carlos Peoples, and that certainly would be a big loss for Cedar Hill.
Yeah, we do have a player for Cedar Hill
we hope
down.
He's okay.
That's what Rick's referring to, and it's a little cool today. Probably doubtful it's a cramp. They got the team trainers out there giving him some attention. But back to Marquand Pope, man, he's just had a big season, really come up big. Coach Heim, has had a lot of players had to step up this season with some injuries and just really playing well as a team. They're stepping in, filling some voids when they need to, and they seem like they got some great team chemistry both on the defensive and offensive side of the ball, which you would expect this deep into the season.
Yeah, and not sure what the what the injury is. It does look like a lower leg injury, but you can see the young man moving his hands and everything. I shudder to make any sort of predictions here, but yeah, the defense from the Guyer Wildcats this year has been getting better every single week. We commented on it last week strongly about how the new scheme is starting to play into the strength of that secondary. You're getting a lot of those talented young men on the field. They're starting to understand their run fits better from coming up from the secondary. You're able to disguise things. I think, to run that type of defense, you do have to have a lot of speed. You need some guys that, I guess you best refer to them as hybrid types, because you've got to be able to run and tackle, but you also have to be able to cover. I think that defense plays into the strength of the Wildcats. They had been a traditional 4-3 defense for a long time, even though they'd always run nickel and dime against certain offensive looks. But so they had to learn the run fits, and I think that's something with the COVID issues that we had, no spring practice. That's not easy to do. And you can clearly see the comfort level on the defense has kicked in. Like this last 4 or 5 weeks, it's just a whole different ball game.
Boy, unfortunately, the Cedar Hill player is still down. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
He's just now getting up, though.
Select criminal cases. As a proud Wildcat herself, she will offer any member of the Guyer community a free initial consultation. Kimberly's primary objective is to deliver outstanding results for each of her clients in the most cost-effective manner possible. For more information and to schedule a consultation, visit shanklinlawfirm.com or call her office at 940-382-8216.
Live here today, and 74, Carlos Peoples was able to get off the field under his own power. A little bit of assist, but he was able to walk off the field. We'll keep looking for that young man, but we hope he gets a chance to get back in this game. All right, there's that quad formation out here on the left again for Salter. He's backfield by himself, going to take and look. and nobody's open. Now he's going to take off with his legs and get the 11 yards and a first down. That's what he does, John. Like, just plain and simple. But again, give credit to the Geyer secondary. But they're going to continue to do that all day. You're going to see them run forward verticals like that and open up the scramble lanes for Salter and just dare you to look in the backfield.
Yeah, no secret. The Geyer defense knows probably 75% of all the offensive plays, actually 100%, are going to come through Caden Salter. So, it's just a chess match. They're going to be able to slow him down.
I don't know. 75% of the time, it works all the time. All right, here we go. Motion. Back to the pistol, hand straight up the middle, and this time he is eaten up by 44. Blaine Smith and 6, Jordan Eubanks. That thing lost yardage, John.
Yeah, Blaine Smith had to carry the load the last couple weeks with Dotun being out. Played well all season long, and he and Dotun are switching it up today. It'll keep both those guys fresh there at that nose tackle position. Great play. For a loss of about 3.
Yeah, you see Powell and McDermott check in the long yardage formation, and Salter's back looking. Now going to try to throw out here on the right, and it is complete, and a great job by 17, Jaden Fugit, on the throwback screen. Gain on the play is about, we'll call it 7 yards, John, but tremendous job by Fugit. That thing could have been a huge play. He's going to keep it at 3rd down and a long 5.
Yeah, Cedar Hill got back some of the yards, but, great defensive play, open field tackling, and that's what we talked about, Coach Webb, the great tackling by this defense.
Yeah, if you just check back, Salter now going to send Rainey in motion, going to hand it on. He has the corner, and it's going to be tough to stop him short and just can't do it. That's going to be first down as he gets about 5.5 yards, and he's right at the sticks, John. But, yeah, if you guys just checked in, there's 10 minutes and 45 seconds to go here. In the first half, our score is 10-7. Wildcats took advantage of a turnover and knocked a long field goal in. Not a whole lot of explosive plays from Longhorns so far. I know we're only just a little over a quarter into the game, but really it's been 7 yards here, 8 yards here.
Yeah, I really expected a lot of deep balls from Caden Salter. We haven't seen a lot of that early in this ballgame.
Trip slot formation. Salter by himself going to throw the tunnel screen on the right side, and boy, we had that thing stopped, but 13 makes about 3 guys miss, and that is probably the most successful 2-yard, 3-yard gain that you'll see right there as Darius Goodlow makes a tackle on 13. Javion Clemmer he really made something out of nothing.
Yeah, he was spinning. The thing that was a little deceptive, Rick, is he caught the ball about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then had to move around to gain a few yards, but it's going to bring up about 2nd and 6.
Yeah, gain actually is 4 on that play. Salter's got trips here to the short side. Got 14 Ashton in the backfield with him. Now going to send number 1 in motion, Thomas the 4th, and he has got pressure quick in his face at Cooper Lance, and the ball's out again. Another unbelievable play from 7 Cooper Lance. And John, when you are an athletic quarterback, the one thing you can't do is run around back there with the ball hanging around your waist. They're going to have to correct that when he gets at Tennessee. Those big SEC boys slapping at the ball. But Cooper Lance, again, shows why he's a Big 12 player right there. Another play.
Yes, second time in this half that Cooper Lance has forced the fumble, being able to run the speedy Caden Salter down from behind. Big turnover, and Geyer leads the turnover ratio 2-0 right now.
Yeah, here we go now. Stack formation. We're familiar to seeing this a lot. Going to take hand fake inside to Aldridge. Stowers looking, still nobody to throw. Now he's going to move to his left. Throws, oh my goodness, right through the hands of 15 Howard. That thing's a jettison up in the air, John. Those are the ones that are dangerous. But luckily for Geyer, that time it fell harmlessly to the ground.
Yeah, Stowers just takes about a 3-step drop back in the pocket. He had some time, and the pocket started to collapse. Throws it over the middle. Incomplete.
All right, Stowers here now stacked to the left of him. Now we're going to get a penalty. I think one of the interior offensive linemen moved. And that is certainly not the way you want to attack second down after you've thrown an incompletion. That'll be 2nd and 15 there for the Wildcats, all the way back to the 41-yard line. This is another one of those plays right here where you don't have to get it all back at once. Just give yourself a chance on third down. They're going to take and hand to Aldridge, and he's going to get back close to the line of scrimmage, John, the original line of scrimmage, but still going to bring up, third down and about 12 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that right side of the offensive line, anchored by Ty Johnson, number 52, Knox Boyd, Joe Radovan in at center. I saw Ty Johnson got another offer this week.
Yeah, it's an AIA offer, I believe, there for young Ty Johnson. We're glad to see that. SAGU there. Fake inside. Stowers quick pressure on the right. He's gotten away, though. Looking. He's got somebody coming, and he smartly throws. No, my bad.
Oh.
Boy, I spoke ahead of myself there. Looked like he was throwing the ball out of bounds, but he threw the ball back inside the field of play, and that is a big mistake from your senior quarterback,
Yeah,
John.
you probably heard my gasp. It looks like he was just going to toss it out of bounds. He was right at the out-of-bounds mark. He should have just stepped out of bounds. It would have taken a small loss, but instead he tosses it, stays inbounds, and right to a Cedar Hill Longhorn. They take over. And we'll have fairly good field position right at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was thinking right there because he had no intention of throwing that ball out of bounds. What I thought for sure, as he was, like you said, he was only a couple of feet from the sidelines, I thought for sure he would just throw the ball out of bounds, and he just sort of hovered it right by the sidelines. Really not sure what was going through his head there, but the Longhorns will take it. Now they're going to go motion, fake to Rainey on the sweep, and Salter straight up the middle, and he goes nowhere, John. Right into the arms of big 9, Rowan Briggs. Gain on the play, maybe a half a yard. Second down and 9. 8:42 now, John, to go here in the first half. Would you have thought it'd be 10-7?
Yeah, both. The Geier offense has had trouble putting a lot of points on the board the last few weeks. And, the turnovers is playing a role in today's game for sure.
All right, trips on the right side. Salter going to take, and this time throws on a slant. It really looked like Salter was upset maybe at his receivers. I'm not sure that we had the right route run there. It looked like two receivers ran the same route. Ball falls sort of in between the two of them. It'll be incomplete. Third down and 9, John. And again, that same trips formation. Salter now moves Rainey out of the backfield. He's by himself. And he's going to take and drop straight back. And he fires quickly out on the right side. This time he's got Thomas open, and he has got big yardage, and he's down the sidelines, tackled by 21 Yates, but not before he picks up 16 yards and a big first down, John, all the way to the Wildcat 32-yard line.
I was just getting ready to say before that snap, if Geier could force a 3-and-out after that turnover, would be a big play and put the ball back in the offensive hands, but big play by Cedar Hill. They moved the chains and a little bit of momentum here in the second quarter.
Yeah, trips on the on the right side. Salter trying to get somebody to go in motion. It's 12 Rainey, and he just keeps it right up the middle. That's, again, that little quarterback draw or quarterback counter, I don't know how you want to say it, coming off of the wide read action, and maybe gain of 2. Tackled quickly by 7, Cooper Lance. Bring up second down and 8 from the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Caden Salter, almost 1,000-yard rusher himself, 146 attempts. They know he's going to keep the ball a lot today, and Cooper Lance, nice job shutting that one down.
Trips left, Salter again by himself in the backfield. Cooper Lance comes quickly off the edge and drilled Salter, but he does get it off to Thomas for the completion gain of about 8, John? No, call it 7. It will be third down and about 2 at the 19-yard line. Boy, Cooper Lance a half a step late there.
Yeah, Anthony Thomas, senior, 30 receptions, 381 yards, and 4 touchdowns this season. A nice catch having to come back to get the ball.
All right, Salter now going to put Thomas in motion. Quickly throw out on the right, and he really made a bad throw there. He had him open on the quick swing route. And 16 Foster was not close enough in his hip. That thing would have definitely gone inside to about the 10-yard line, but falls incomplete.
Yeah, we had a perfect line of sight. Salter is literally right down below us, and it looked like he tried to guide that ball, Rick. Had a receiver open, just coming right out of the backfield, and just threw it down by his ankles, and he couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, he got 19. Ernie Moore, tight end, checks into the game. And we're going to get a little bit of a power formation, as much of a power formation as you'll see from Cedar Hill, and Geyer jumps off sides. The flag's flying everywhere. But it doesn't matter because Salter is running free on the right side. He runs out of bounds at about the 11, and I think either way you look at this, John, we're going to be a first down here for the Longhorns at about 6:33 to go here in this first half. We'll see the call for sure, but really look like offsides to me.
Yeah, Geyer's holding on to the slimmest of leads, 10-7. 6:33 left in the first half. Boy, this looks to be a battle all the way to the end, Rick. Both teams are hungry. They've got the pedigree. They've been in this position before. Carlos Lynn, a fixture in that Cedar Hill community for many years before he left and then came back and took the head job. And they've got a nice crowd that came up from Cedar Hill today.
Yeah,
as well.
Absolutely. All right, first down here and 10 at the 12. Two people in the backfield now. He's going to send one in motion again, and he tries to get away this time. No helmet, and they're going to get. Looks like they're going to get the Longhorns here the Wildcats here for a face mask, and that's unfortunate because they had Salter eaten up in the backfield, and his helmet goes flying. Let's see the call.
Yeah, flags flew. 3 flags came out simultaneously. So, Geyer had him collapse, nowhere to go. And let's wait for the call.
Yeah, personal foul face mask on the Wildcats. This thing will be half the distance to the goal and automatic first down. That's probably going to be around the 6-yard line, John. Unfortunate. We had him bottled up, but he's so elusive. You put a stiff arm in there, and he's just difficult to get a hold of, and you're grasping for whatever you can. And one of the Geyer defenders grabbed the face mask there. It was clearly unintentional, but.
Yeah, head referee for today's game is Ricky Heron II. Umpire Michael Washington. Head linesman Jack Coons.
All right, Salter now got twins on the left. Got the tight end still in the game. And he backs straight up. Quick pressure, but now he finds somebody wide open. And he's going to get the tight end 19 for a touchdown. Check the flag, though. Let's see if they might get an offensive pass interference here. He sure was wide open. Close. Somebody's going to be caught grabbing somebody there. I think we might get an offensive pass interference here, John.
Well, that'd be a big break for Geyer because Salter made that one look very easy.
Either that or maybe an illegal man downfield. They had a little box. Yep, that's what it was. They had a box formation. You got 2 receivers out here on the left side, tight in stack, and a tight end. And what happened is one of those guys had to line up on the line of scrimmage. You got to make sure both of your out men are off the line. And typically when you get in sets like that, the receivers are used to one man being on the line, one man being off, and that's the call there. As they had 19 covered, Ernie Moore was actually covered on that play. So the big penalty against the Longhorns, that's going to back it up to about the 11-yard line. It'll still be first down and goal, but no points yet. 6 minutes and 4 seconds, and the Wildcats still clinging to a 10-7 lead. All right, standard 2x2 spread formation. Salter back, looking, firing here to his slot receiver, 13. That's complete to Javion Clemmer. Great play by 22 Peyton Bowen. That's super tackle there. And no yards after catch down at the 6. Second down, they live to live another play.
Yeah, Salter's, they're calling a lot of plays underneath, a lot of short yardage pass plays. Been somewhat effective today for Cedar Hill, but Geyer's doing a great job in open field making those tackles.
Yeah, all right, here now trips formation on the right, got a stacked slot on the left. Salter by himself, fires out wide open, touchdown. That was out to Anthony Thomas IV. They ran a little rub route on 21 Yates. You see that play is just so successful. It's a trademark of LSU. Clemson runs that play all the time. Everybody loves that little rub route. And if you do it right, it's legal. It's not a pick. It's either a pick or a rub, and this time it was a rub, and it's a touchdown.
Yeah, Caden Salter looked very comfortable there. Looked like just a pass and catch, like he's in his backyard, throwing to one of his good buddies. Nice job by Salter to keep his poise during this possession, and they take the lead. Chance for the point-after attempt to make it 14-10 with 5:24 left in this first half.
Yeah, looks like kicker here, 41. Check that number, William Rhodes. for Longhorns. Got a flag. Nope, excuse me, just got a yep, we do. Delay a game. Well, you don't see that a lot, John, on the extra point. And it's not like they were contemplating going for two or anything. They just kind of pitter-putted around back there and didn't get the kickoff. Well, now you got to put it back out at the 15. Not sure. No, now they got a new kicker in there, 82, Jaden Cardell. High snap, but he gets this one up, and he sticks it right down the middle. 5 minutes and 24 seconds to go here, John, before we get a break to our sponsors. Anything shocking that you see, or is this pretty much what we look for?
Now, we'll be right back after this break.
Marty, I've always enjoyed the range of menu items, whether you're going for just an appetizer or a full entree. Talk to us a little bit about the selection here at Marty's.
Yeah, thank you, John. The menu was uniquely crafted with a couple things in mind, and one thing I'm most proud of is that all of our meats are hormone-free, antibiotic-free, humanely raised, and fed an all-natural diet. So it truly makes a difference in the quality of the flavor of the food. For example, we're primarily barbecue is what we serve the largest amount of, and so all of our Tex-Mex options have smoked meats that we use to prepare those items. And then we have one of the best hamburgers you'll ever put your mouth around. All of our beef comes from 44 Farms down in Cameron, Texas. We cut our New York strip, our filet, and our ribeye in-house. And then all of the trimmings from that we fresh ground into our hamburger patty. And then we have our buns fresh baked from a bakery down in Houston. Unbelievable burger. And then, of course, the steaks speak for themselves, some of the best steaks you'll ever eat. So our menu is wide in range, but narrow in that it's just super focused on quality.
Well, we unfortunately we missed that one there, and that is a huge play for the Longhorns. They ran a pooch kick, and Geyer just did not come up and field the ball, John. I mean, just a inexplicable there by the Geyer return team. The ball was up in the air forever. It was short. They just let it hit. And like a 9-iron, it shoots backwards, and they get on the ball. And that's just a big mistake right there.
Yeah, it was in no man's land, and it's almost like, you don't practice that a lot during the week. But in a game of this magnitude, you got to be prepared for any and everything coming your way. And, boy, big turnover right there.
Yeah, you just, you practice things like that all the time. And we'll get back to that in a minute as quickly the Longhorns get to the ball. Trips on the right side. They're in a little bit of a slot formation on the left. Going to send 14 back in motion to the pistol. And now they're going to run a trick play. As they try to run that play, though, it is eaten up. At number 11, Carson Parham stays at home, John, and makes a huge play. They tried to run a flea flicker, and no one was open downfield. And Salter is down, and that's a huge loss.
Yeah, Carson Parham collapsed that pocket. A lot of speed coming from that middle linebacker position. And Salter, as soon as he looked up after he got that flea flicker, Parham was in his face. And a big loss there, Rick. It looks like about 15 yards.
13 on the play, yeah. John. 13. Second down and 23 for Salter. Not a whole lot of plays in the playbook for that. 12, Rainey goes in motion, looking. Going to try to throw the tunnel screen on the right side, and Rowan Briggs got a mid on that, John, and deflected it harmlessly to the ground. And now you're third down and 23 yards. Defense got to make a good play here. I would look for Salter to do one of those things where he tries to run around back there and see if he can get somebody open downfield. You got to be relentless on the pass rush here. Even if you miss him, you got to keep on keeping on.
It would be big for Geyer after that turnover on the kickoff to keep Cedar Hill from scoring any points here before the half.
Yeah, absolutely. You got 4 minutes and 37 seconds to go here in the first half. First quarter went by really quickly. We've had a lot of incompletions, turnovers, timeouts, and penalties here in this second quarter. I think it's gone forever. And we got a timeout now from the Longhorns. A little bit of confusion in the backfield, John. I'll tell you, you talk about big special teams plays, and that has been a plus for Geyer this year. We've made a lot of positive plays on special teams, but that one really, and you just don't know what to say about that. I mean, it's not a physical mistake. just a mental error there that I'm sure the guard coaches will correct. But you just can't let that happen.
Hey, shout out to our friend Reagan Hickey. Shannon Metter is on, she says, Coop, after that big play a few series ago. Jeff Davis says, attaboy. Thank you all for tuning in. We love to hear from you. We don't get a chance to monitor the comments quite as regular today with all the action, but post them, and we'll try to monitor those during breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. John, back here now in the gray uniforms here, Cedar Hill Longhorns, 3rd down in a mile and a half, and Salter drills one down the middle, and goodness gracious, John, right at the sticks. I think he might. Is he going to give it to him? It looks like they're going to mark him about a half yard short as number 18, a little prematurely there, makes the first down motion, but I would imagine that the Longhorns will go for it right here.
Well, I don't know if Salter's ever played any baseball, but right there, he rifled that ball in there like a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and it was almost a really violent explosion there. It's going to be short. They're going to go for it.
Yeah, stack formation on the right. They're going to send somebody in motion, and this time they're offsides, I believe, on the right side. Let's see what the call is. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be motion on Cedar Hill. And this will bring up an interesting call. I would imagine Coach Lynn will go for this. It's 4th down now, and it'll be 5.5 yards, John, maybe even a full 6. But they're at the 29-yard line.
It'd be for a long field goal. The wind looks like it's moving right to left. So the looks like they're definitely lined up to go for it. No field goal unit coming out here, Rick.
Yeah, here we go. It's obviously a play change. Now you got quads on the right side. Salter by himself in the backfield. He's looking, and he fires complete, 1st down, and he was wide open, and that's exactly what he does. He just takes his time back there. He steps up in the pocket a little bit, and he found somebody wide open across the middle of the field. I think that was 12 Rainey. And he's just going to sit down on his tail there at a 20-yard line to be 1st down.
Yeah, you cannot give Caden Salter that much time. Guy's done a great job all afternoon, putting pressure on him, making him come out of the pocket and scramble. But when Caden Salter can sit back there and look like about his 2nd or 3rd check down, wide open across the middle, enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, 3rd down, 3 minutes to go in this game here. And the Longhorns are taking their time. They're being smart. They do not want to give this ball back to Geyer. Salter this time just going to run naked on the right side. And he's going to get – wow, John, he's going to get a yard, two yards on that. I thought he was going to lose 3 yards on that play, John. It looked like there were a little bit of confusion. I think the running backs went the wrong way, and Salter heads over there, or maybe he went the wrong way, went over there with no blockers, but there was no fake or a bootleg, and Geyer had 3 guys there to tackle him, and he picks up 2 yards.
He starts with a little hesitation, a little high leg kick, and here we go.
Yeah, Salter now back straight there, looking, moving to his right. Now he's going to take off and run, and he's going to slide down. Gain on that play will be only about 3 yards, John, as they mark it back where he started his slide. It'll be 3rd down and 5, and this is a big play for the Wildcat defense.
And that does keep the clock moving with about 2:25 left in this half. Cedar Hill leading this one 14-10 with a chance to put some more points on the board here before half.
Yeah, they clearly are not interested in the Wildcats getting the ball back here. Coach Lynn is being very deliberate in getting his plays in. That quad formation, again, Rainey goes back motion. They're going to run the option, and Salter's going to keep it. He's going to dive for the sticks. He's going to be short. But once again, John, you're going to be 4th down, maybe a little bit further this time, though. This is going to be a full 2 yards.
Well, they're in chip shot range, but it looks like they're going to just go for it here, Rick.
Yeah, I think even though the scoring's been down a little bit here in the first half, I think Coach Lynn is probably looking at this thing realistically without all the turnovers and thinking, I'm not sure 17 points wins this game. So stack right, Salter keeps, and he'll just stick his head down and make the 1st down. He's inside the 10, and that's a really good play to run in short yardage. You run that option play to the short side of the field, puts a lot of pressure. You got 2 blockers over there to eat people up, and it's easy to contain that play, but it's really hard to stop it from gaining, 3 or 4 yards. It's an interesting little concept into the boundary there on 4th and short. but it's successful, and they're going to be right at the 10. I think they put the sticks down. This will be 1st and goal for the Longhorns. All the way down to 1:02 left now. Salter going to put a man in motion, straight back, looking, fire out here, and bam, blown up. 6. Eubanks is going to hit number 18. That's Jaden Moore. Gain on the play, maybe 1.5 yards, and that'll do it.
Cedar Hill will burn a timeout with 41 seconds left. Boy, yeah, big-time play right there. Another great job, just open field tackling, Rick. A lot of times you'll see a missed tackle there that the receiver will elude the defender and end up scoring on plays like that, but not right there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something, John, and you've seen early in the game on the 3rd down and 23 play what kind of an arm Salter has. I've really been surprised. You haven't seen a play run, an offensive play run, other than that one where you've got receivers down past about 4 or 5 yards. I mean, there's been a lot of that rub route, a lot of crossing routes. We haven't seen a deep out other than the one, middle route there, the little deep in route on the 3rd and long. You just have not seen them push the ball down the field. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, stay tuned. We're going to have some halftime stats from our very own Koency Hord. We've got an interview from Dotun, Lonnie Pacoon, and then we may have some special guests join us here on the Geyer Football Radio Network halftime show. So don't go away. We got a lot coming your way, and defensively, Geyer needs to have a lot coming Cedar Hill's way right here.
Yeah, here we go. 2nd down and goal. Salter going to take, look for the trick plays, wide open. There you go. Throw back to the quarterback, and it's a touchdown. Boy, you could see that coming from up here a mile away. Anytime a team like that, John, doesn't run the traditional toss sweep a lot, I look for stuff like that.
And Caden Salter, number 7. Cooper Lands, number 7, was trailing him. Actually did a pretty good job. The ball was slightly underthrown in the corner of the end zone. And if Cooper would have just turned around, I think he could have knocked it down. But Caden Salter, number 7, was kind of pointing his finger at Cooper Lands, number 7. I don't think you want to make Lands too upset here before half.
Yeah, well, I can tell you what, we need to get upset a little bit because that's 21-10 for the Longhorns, and all of a sudden, with 35 seconds to go in the first half, we find ourselves 2 scores down to this team again. And I'm not sure that Geyer has the same level of explosion that they had on last year's team. And I think it's critical. And unfortunately, the Longhorns are going to get the kick to start the second half too, John. And that is clearly not where we wanted to be.
Yeah, Geyer with only 35 seconds left. Typically, Webb has kind of taken a knee, just say, hey, I'll go in for the half. But, Rick, with 35 seconds left, you got some time. What do you think?
Well, I tell you, it's always a big advantage when you've got a kicker like Mayfield, right? We've seen him knock it through from 56 yards before, so you have that. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the kickoff, where they are. But if they get the ball out around the 30 or beyond the 30, it would not surprise me to see him take a couple of shots. They have all 3 of their timeouts. So Longhorns going to do, and they're going to pooch it, and it's going to be at about the 27, and they have done that same thing all day long, the really short, high pooch kick, and it's been very effective. Geyer's going to give us the ball in there around the 27-yard line every time with really no ability to return it. So we'll see what happens, John, but 35 seconds, all 3 timeouts, kicker with a huge leg, would not surprise me.
Yeah, I would like to see.
Interesting.
I would like to see Geyer take a few shots deep, but the flip side of that coin, Rick, is you don't want to turn over here on your own side of the field.
No, interesting. You got 19. O'Bara is here on the short side, going to send a receiver in motion. That's sides. Stowers back, looking, going to fire out here on the left, and he's going to have plenty of room. And that's Tyon Aldridge, and he's all the way out at about the 47-yard line. 23 seconds to go. That stops the clock with a first down. I'm not sure why they don't take the timeout. You got 3 of them. They're going to roll the clock immediately, and this really makes no sense whatsoever. And fake, throw, and it is complete to 4. and you're down at the 41 now. There's only 11 seconds to go in game, John, and that's just not good clock management there.
Yeah, the only thing you can think of is they're trying to keep Cedar Hill off balance for that next play, thinking they might get a big play into field goal range, but it didn't work out. 11 seconds left. Geyer burns their first of 3 timeouts. And you never want to go in the half in this kind of situation with a timeout or two still left in your pocket.
Yeah, and if you look at it now, you're at the 41. I mean, Eli definitely has the arm to get it in the end zone from there. But the problem that you have here is that you're far enough out where any sort of play where your quarterback scrambles a little bit and then throws it, if there's any sort of activity with the ball, running deep down the field, you run the risk of the clock running out on you. And like you said, you go into halftime with those 2 timeouts. So it's a little bit of strategy here. Are we going to see maybe an out route, a deep out route, and an opportunity to kick the field goal? Are you going to see if we can get one up deep? I mean, I think I might try
if you
to
go
send
deep,
O'Bara
if you get deep, you probably have a chance for really one play. You run the risk of catching it inbounds and the clock running out, but here we go.
Yeah, we're going to roll to the right side, and we're going to run that deep out, and O'Bara drops it right in his hands at the 34-yard line in 6 seconds, and now you really have no choice but to throw it up for the end zone.
Yeah, unfortunate. O'Bara maybe a little rusty from being out for a couple weeks, but he was wide open. Had some running room as well.
Yeah, Stowers now back. He's going to roll right. Looking, and now we just throw the ball out of bounds with no time left on the clock. I don't really understand
It'll
that.
be
Actually,
interesting.
they
They keep 1 second up. They're going to talk about it. I think they're going to keep 1 second up, so a chance for one last play here before the half.
And they're going to rotate the guys now to the left side of the field, and now you see the Longhorns walk people back. They got 4 people back inside the 20 now. Let's make it 5. Yeah, actually, they got 4 safeties right across the field at about the 15-yard line. We're going to get a timeout here, John.
Yeah, I think Coach Webb's going to rethink the strategy with 4 center fielders back about 20 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. So what do you dial up here, Rick? I know you're an offensive-minded guy, but you just got to hope somebody can break loose. Maybe a Jace Wilson with that big frame can out-jump somebody maybe near or in the end zone.
Yeah, really, you really only have one play here, and that is you just got to put several of your big guys down here on the side and throw it up for grabs in the end zone. Eli's got a great combination for this. He's got the mobility to move around back there a little bit, and you're down now the 41-yard line, so he certainly has the arm to throw it up into the end zone. If you were a little bit closer, if you're down around the 30, maybe you run some crossing routes around the 5-yard line, 8-yard line. You maybe even try to run the hook and ladder or something. But from back here, I think you're just going to see him throw the ball up on the left side. And they're going to put pressure on O'Bara. They're going to probably knock him a little bit at the line of scrimmage and then cover him over the top. And you got pressure now, and Stowers is in trouble. And now he has to roll away from people and throw it up, and that's a duck, and it's picked. And we're going to knock him down at about the 33. But that play was blown up from the beginning. And now the way that defenders are trying to defend that alley-oop play or the Hail Mary or whatever is they can see where your tall guys are. And what they want to do is bring pressure at that side so that you can't roll to that side. And they want to push you out of the pocket away from your guys. And that's what they did there. And they really just took the play away, John. But we messed that up 2 plays earlier on that. I think you make that big first completion, and you got to use a timeout right away. You would have saved almost 12 seconds there.
Yeah, Geyer starts off. They really kind of own that first quarter, but then it's been all Cedar Hill since, Rick, leading this one 21-10 at the half. Matter of fact, I think we're going to bring Koency on to kind of recap that first half with the stats. Koency, what do you got?
Well, a little bit of a head scratcher to kind of go into the second half, but I think, at the end of the day, this one's just going to come down to who wants it more. The Guyer High School Wildcats are getting beat here at McKinney ISD Stadium by Cedar Hill, 21-10. Guyer with 7 first downs, 154 total yards, 54 passing yards, 100 rushing yards, 2 penalties for 11 yards, and 2 turnovers coming from Eli Stowers' interceptions. Cedar Hill with 13 first downs, 206 total yards, 136 of those being passing, 70 rushing yards, 4 penalties for 25 yards, and 2 fumbles coming from Cooper Lands. Back to you, Rick and John.
Yeah, John, I think the big thing of the first half, what do you want to call it, the big theme, the big reveal for us is that Guyer's offense has really just been blah. One huge play from Eli, and other than that, really just not a lot of success at all.
Yeah, a couple runs. B.J. Phillips had one series there where he had a couple, 4, 5, 6 yard gains, but they're going to have to establish themselves here in the second half and really move the ball to establish and really keep Cedar Hill off the field, Rick.
Yeah, I have Koency checking on an interesting stat, John. And maybe it's just a little bit of intuitiveness on my part, but it seems like Cedar Hill has had the ball the entire game. I know we're going to throw a few extra plays there at the end of that first half, but it seemed to me that Cedar Hill just controlled the game from a possession standpoint. It's hard to score if you don't have the ball.
Yeah, I'm looking for that myself as well. If we can find that time of possession, it is key. But hey, we will hear from Dotun Alani Pakun, the defensive tackle, or defensive nose tackle rather, for your Guyer Wildcats. Has really been a spark last week as well as this week. And we're going to bring him on, and then we'll be back to bring you second half action here from McKinney ISD Stadium. So stay tuned. Don't leave that radio dial. We'll be back after this.
We're back with a special guest, defensive nose tackle, Dotun Alani Pakun. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hey, Dotun, did I get your last name right?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Well, hey, what has it meant? What has it meant to you to playing for the Wildcats and wearing the silver and black these last 4 years?
It's pretty much meant everything to me. Like, getting into it, I was kind of like, I was new to not really new to it since I went to Crownover, the middle school that leads into Guyer. And I was just used to, like, the mentality and the family and the people around me. So it just felt like I fit, and it just felt like a family community thing.
Yeah, it's been
been
a great experience. You're right. Both Crownover and Harpole, great feeder programs to Guyer High School, and
yes,
you're right. Crownover Cowboys was a great experience to get you prepared for the last 4 seasons at Guyer.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, you played for Coach Ramsey for 3 seasons before Coach Heim was named the defensive coordinator with Coach Ramsey's promotion to head coach. How do their coaching styles differ?
I would say in the beginning it was kind of hard to be with Coach Ramsey. I was kind of scared of him because he was like really loud.
A little intimidating, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was intimidating. When Heim came over, I was used to like the intimidation from like coaches yelling at me and stuff. So I just felt like it was kind of easier to get to know him and stuff.
Well, Dotun, you've never done anything that warranted getting yelled at by Coach, have you?
Maybe a little slacking off, joking around.
There you go. Well, hey, you and Blaine Smith have been holding court at that nose tackle position all season. How important is your role in this 3-4 defense?
We really have to, like, plug up the middle. So no runs getting inside through any of the gaps. If we mess up, if we get pushed off the line, it lets the O-line that we're going against be able to get to the linebackers. Now just get them blocked and open up a lane, which we have to stop. So we really have to plug up anything in the middle and try to just stop them from advancing.
Hey, what's been the biggest challenge in this 3-4?
Constantly getting double teams.
Yeah, that's not easy. Texas 6A football, you're going to get some of the biggest offensive linemen, really college-sized players, a lot of 270, 80, 90, 300-pound centers, guards.
Yes,
and that's not easy, but you've done a fantastic job, very athletic.
Thank you.
And you've done a fantastic job. Hey, let's switch gears a little bit, Dotun. What's your favorite video game?
It's this anime video game called Naruto.
Yeah, and explain to the audience what anime is a little bit, because I don't think everybody quite understands that.
Anime is kind of a Japanese cartoon.
There you go. And a lot of history there. It's, I think, a couple 100 years old, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hey, great season last year as a junior, getting to the state title game. What an experience, what a ride that you can look back on for the rest of your life. But what would it mean to get back there again this year as a senior?
It would mean everything, honestly. It was a wonderful experience just playing with like the group of people I was with, playing with my family pretty much. And it was just fun, and I just loved being in that stadium and the state game and just like working the hardest I could, and it would mean everything to go back, especially since I'm injured. I'd like to come back and get back into a state game and try and win that to get the ring.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, you were out this afternoon against Arlington, but you are hopeful to return here in just a couple weeks and be part of that state semifinal and championship game. So we'd love to see you back. Hey, what fires you up more, a quarterback sack or a fumble recovery?
I've been a part of a lot of quarterback sacks. What I want the most was a fumble recovery and actually running the ball.
You've never picked up a fumble and scored, have you?
No, sir.
Yeah, boy, that's a defensive lineman's dream right there, and that is very rare, very rare. But hey, what's been your most memorable game here at Geyer in your career?
That's kind of hard because I've had so many like great games that I've loved. I might have to say the state game. Even though we lost, it just was wonderful being in a state game.
Yeah,
never thought
everything leading up to it.
Yeah, that whole season, I just loved it.
And hey, what will it take to get back there and win a title this season?
We just got to be diligent and, not slacking off. Everybody got to run to the ball on defense. On offense, we just got to, O-line's got to block, receivers got to catch the balls, running backs got to do everything. We just have to stay on top of everything, not slack off and not think a team is too easy to not be beat by.
And I know we were talking earlier, Dotun, you plan on playing college football, but what would you like to do ultimately after your football career is over?
I'm interested in being a mechanical engineer.
Yeah, that's a fantastic opportunity. Anything specific? Do you want to get involved in certain types of industry or building products?
Nothing, mostly like building products, actually. I found it fascinating since I was young. It just seems like something I would like to do.
Well, hey, everybody, that's Dotun Alani-Pakun. Thank you so much for joining us on this special halftime feature on the Geyer Football Radio Network.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Thinking of buying or selling your home? Lisa Morris and Shannon Piper with the Cloud Realty team have been serving the DFW area for over 15 years. They specialize in residential buying, residential selling, and work with investors all over the Metroplex. Call them today at 469-300-1109 or go to txcloudrealty.com and check out their 5-star reviews. Contact Lisa and Shannon today to find your next dream home.
The law office of Kimberly N. Shanklin voted the best criminal law office in Denton County 6 years in a row. She and her team are focused on family law and select criminal cases. As a proud Wildcat herself, she will offer any member of the Geyer community a free initial consultation. Kimberly's primary objective is to deliver outstanding results for each of her clients in the most cost-effective manner possible. For more information and to schedule a consultation, visit shanklinlawfirm.com or call her office at 940-382-8216. Marty, I've always enjoyed the range of menu items, whether you want to go in there for just an appetizer or a full entree. Talk to us a little bit about the selection there at Marty B's.
Yeah, thank you, John. The menu was uniquely crafted with a couple things in mind, and one thing I'm most proud of is that all of our meats are hormone-free, antibiotic-free, humanely raised, and fed an all-natural diet. So it truly makes a difference in the quality and of the flavor of the food. For example, we're primarily barbecue is what we serve the largest amount of, and so all of our Tex-Mex options have smoked meats that we use to prepare those items. And then we have one of the best hamburgers you'll ever put your mouth around. All of our beef comes from 44 Farms down in Cameron, Texas. We cut our New York strip, our filet, and our ribeye in-house. And then all of the trimmings from that we fresh ground into our hamburger patty. And then we have our buns fresh baked from a bakery down in Houston. Unbelievable burger. And then, of course, the steaks speak for themselves, some of the best steaks you'll ever eat. So our menu is wide in range, but narrow in that it's just super focused on quality. So come out and enjoy salads, steaks, tacos, burgers. We have it all.
Marty, anytime we have friends or family come in from out of town, we always take them to Marty B's place because it's such a great Texas experience, and everybody just loves it. So check them out at martybsplace.com, and we'll see you there. Take care, fans. BudBartleyHomes.com is one of the area's finest home builders, locally owned and operated for over 30 years. 3 new neighborhoods to choose from: Sunset Point, a 1/3 to half-acre Lakeview lots, only a 3 to 4 minute walk to Lake Grapevine's Twin Coves Marina. Watch the Gaylord Texans summertime fireworks show from your brand new home. Low-maintenance single-story homes in Highland Village from the upper 400s, and 2-acre lots are available in Copper Canyon. BudBartleyHomes.com, they can build on your lot or theirs. Bud Bartley Homes has built homes for many of the area's top realtors and other industry professionals. We are confident the team at Bud Bartley will exceed your expectations. Take it from me, John Piper. They built my home over 15 years ago. The excitement is building at BudBartleyHomes.com.
Well, we are back live here at McKinney ISD Stadium. I'm John Piper. I'm joined by Preston Thrailkill, alumni of the Geyer Wildcats and proud football player and now a football coach. How you doing, Preston?
Doing great, man. It's a blessing to be here.
Well, it's good to have you. I know you've been up here in the booth with us during this first half. From a coach's perspective, what's been your analysis of this first half of action?
Well, John, I'll tell you, it's a little bit shocking watching this game. Geyer is known for being such an explosive football team, and they truly have not shown an offensive identity here, and it's pretty apparent.
Yeah, what do you think it's going to take? What do you think? You've been in a lot of locker rooms. You're in locker rooms now with the Liberty Christian Warriors. What is the message if you're the Geyer Wildcat coaching staff, both on a defensive coordinator perspective as well as Coach Webb talking offense? What's the message that needs to be shared in that locker room here at the half?
Man, message right now needs to be fight. You cannot give up. You cannot go down into this game. You cannot come back into this third quarter with that deficit on your mind. You got to play each play one at a time, and you got to climb back just a little bit at a time here.
And Caden Salter, everybody knew coming into this game, he's the consummate playmaker, a Tennessee commit. He's been getting it done. A little taunting there at the end of the first half against Cooper Lands, kind of a little air in his step. What's it going to take to slow down Caden Salter for the Geyer Wildcats to have a chance to win this ballgame?
Yeah, I'm a traditional guy. I love to see a little bit of the talking, a little bit of the banter back and forth. I'm always in favor of letting the kids play ball. You got to look to these Geier Wildcats to maybe show some more extensive stunts up front. They've done a pretty decent job of keeping the phenomenal athlete Caden Salter in the pocket, but you've seen a couple times he's able to step up, move around a little bit, and you just can't cover anybody for 8 seconds down the field, especially not at this level of football.
Well, hey, let's take a step back in time, and probably seems like just yesterday for you. You've got a state title ring. What it takes from a player's perspective to get there and to make it happen?
Yeah, from a player's perspective, those rings are won from the guys before you, setting a tradition, setting a culture. Starting in the summer, not missing any days, not taking any days off. I mean, it's the little things, not taking any reps off in the weight room, and creating a congruency, just building relationships with your teammates, with your coaching staff, and building a trust factor that the coaches can rely on when it comes to player development. Throughout the games, your coaches need to be able to trust your players and talk about the things that are happening on the field for adjustments, for specific things like that. So, it takes a whole team effort, a whole team congruent effort to really get this far. And both of these teams, no matter what this outcome is, should be incredibly proud of themselves for how far they've come. Not many people get to play football, like we were talking earlier, John, on January 9th in the state of Texas. So it's a blessing.
Yeah, it's like bowl week. It's wild card weekend. We've got the Buffalo Bill game, Indianapolis Colts, I believe, playing here in the booth as well. So it's a football weekend. Hey, before we get into some more coach talk, hey, fans, when you're tuned in here, let us know where you're tuning in from. We always like to hear from you. I know we have people that tune in from all over the country for various reasons, travel. Just pop a note in the comment section here on the Spreaker app. Let us know where you're tuning in from and your thoughts so far in this first half of action. But Preston, transitioning now into coaching. I've been around you quite a bit the last few months as you've transitioned to a coach. That's your passion. You spent some time in Georgia and won a state title as a coach at Blessed Trinity there in Georgia. Talk to us a little about the transition into coaching and any adjustments you've had to make from being a player and now a coach.
Yeah, so it is my passion. I was blessed to have an opportunity to go coach at such a prestigious program out there. I didn't really know exactly what I was getting into, other than I knew that they were very good the year before, and they were on the up and coming, the up and up, if you will. But going out there, being a young guy, you really gotta split the line and make it known to your players that we can be friendly with each other, but we're not friends, and you got to create the dynamic of I'm the coach. I know I'm a young guy, but what I say goes, and you got to create a good relationship, a good base foundation. It was being a receiver, coaching the receiver's position. That's all I've done so far in my short career, just 4 years. But it was a little bit easier for me because I know exactly what I'm teaching. I'm relatively knowledgeable, I'd like to think, at least.
Well, you're a student of the game. You're always studying. Just think of the thousands of hours you spent in film session as a player and now as a coach. And, man, I have this mantra, whatever it is in life you do, constant and never-ending improvement, constant and never-ending learning. I mean, you can continue to learn, and as long as you keep doing that, you're going to have a big trajectory and a big upside in the coaching business. Preston, I saw just the other day, I think there were like 40 head coaches openings in the state of Texas. I know you're a couple years away from maybe the head coach opportunity, but this past season you've been with Liberty Christian, the Warriors, right there in Argyle, Texas, and you want to continue to pursue that. And you were also the middle school head coach. So talk to us a little bit about being the head coach of those 7th and 8th graders.
So, when I first started my coaching career, I did not want to coach young kids. I thought I guess I was above it. I wasn't used well enough. It wasn't smart for me, and it's been an absolute blessing. Coaching young kids truly teaches you how to coach. The skill level, the knowledge base, it's not there yet for the kids, John. So you really have to understand that you got to teach these kids from as basic as it gets to the point where by the time they're seniors, you can speak to them as if they're tenured football players. So just starting off at a young age, I was blessed to be able to coach varsity program, but I really didn't grow my coaching experience very well until I started coaching the middle school level. So I call the offense for the middle school, and that's for the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade teams. It's a blessing. It's actually helped me a ton. Get to learn offense and learn how to coach and call offensive plays with a little bit of an easier, less pressure. So for when I do get that job as an offensive coordinator or a head coach one day, I have a little bit more knowledge on how to run it.
Well, hey, many coaches have impacted all our lives, mine included. Back in Lexington, Kentucky, there was a middle school coach. I know there's some people, I think, from Kentucky tuning in that know this man well. His name is Harry B. Johnson. He played at the University of Kentucky, took a job right out of school as a middle school coach because that was the only job opportunity. He wanted to coach high school or college, but fell in love with that age group. And we were called the Titans, and much like Remember the Titans, he impacted many young men back then that was 7th, 8th, and 9th graders that he had a chance to mold. And, man, coaches do change lives. And, man, we're really proud of you, Preston, everything you're doing. Your future is bright. Just keep grinding at it. And for the fans that are tuned in right now, any parting thoughts on this game here today as we're about 6 minutes away from bringing you the second half here at McKinney ISD Stadium?
Yeah, so for these Guyer Wildcats, they're going to have to come back, and like I said, they're going to have to establish an offensive identity. If you take that 68-yard long run, tremendous run, but if you take that out of the play here, the Guyer Wildcats have about 65 yards of offense. And John, you just told me that they've completed three passes, 3 of 12, and that's just not going to cut it. Coach Webb comes from such an explosive passing offense too, so let's look for the Guyer Wildcats to keep it relatively easy in the passing game in the second half. Let's see if we can get Eli rolling with some short completions. See if we can get the ball in space and see if some of these playmakers can get the ball rolling for these Guyer Wildcats.
Well, our friend Jeff Davis is tuning in. He says, "Hey, Preston, good to hear your voice." Also, Betsy says, "Hey, Quincy." I believe that might be Quincy's grandmother. But, hey, we are literally 5 minutes away from the second half kick with the Cedar Hill Longhorns leading this one 21-10. We'll be back after this break. Go refresh your beverage, grab a sandwich. And, man, this should be a great one here on Saturday afternoon from McKinney ISD Stadium. We'll be right back.
Go Cats.
been driving around, singing songs way too loud because we wanna. Picking up all our friends, fill up the car till it bends because we wanna. Yeah, we just wanna have fun. The trunk's full of wine. We're gonna stay up, have the time of our lives. The night is young, don't need anybody else. We came to party all night long, and we don't need no chaperone. We don't need nobody's attention, yeah, we just wanna dance on our own. We came to party all night long and sing along to every song. We don't need nobody's attention, don't need nobody else in our zone.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We are now live, about a minute away from action here in the second half. John, excellent job of the halftime interview there with Preston. It's I'm really proud of him, obviously, of being his father. But when I get to sit back and listen to him talk about his life experiences, and he's now becoming a young man and guiding other young men, that's something that makes me more proud than any pass he ever caught, any hit he ever got on the baseball field, any of that stuff. It's really, that's what fathers live for.
Yeah, we just want to build a foundation that they can go out and leave the nest and flourish. And that's one reason why we do radio, and the things we do is to share stories like that in the community. We also had Dotun Alana Pakun on. Man, he's got a bright future beyond football. I don't know if you heard, he's going to be a mechanical engineer. I would probably trust him to build me something right now.
Yeah, he certainly. I hope to see. We happen to run a mechanical company. I'd love to see his resume one day. That
would be neat. That would be neat. And you know what? If you ever needed to crack the whip on some of your employees, you could send Dotun in there to kind of lead that team meeting.
No doubt.
And maybe give him a little growl or something.
No doubt. Denali Construction Services, young man. You remember that name. You are going to be successful.
That's right.
But getting back to the game, John, as we're about to get started here, this is two things that are critical of Geyer right now. One, got to make a stop. No doubt. And then you got to come out and score. We've got to find a way to successfully throw the football, too. 3 of 12 in the first half, just really not going to.
Yeah, we were just talking a break. If Cedar Hill takes this opening kickoff and punches it in, it might be tough to come back from.
Yeah, Rainey now going to return that out just over the 23-yard line. Good coverage there from the Geyer kickoff team. That's 3, Jaden Powell running him out of bounds down there. So you started off well. Going to make the Longhorns go a long way here. They're going to start from their 23-yard line. Got to play fundamentally sound. One thing you can't do with Salter, we can't win the game on this one play. So that's the one thing that I always say. We got to put pressure on him. We got to make plays, this, that, and the other. But you can't just go in there with a chicken with your head cut off. This guy will make you pay for it. You got to play fundamentally sound. You got 2 full quarters to win this thing. You got to make a stop. And there's a run play on the right, and 21 for that's Chris Allen for the Longhorns. He goes ahead, and he's going to get about 2 yards. Tackle on that play. Left side looked like Big 9, Rowan Briggs.
The Geyer defense forced 2 turnovers in the first half. I think they're going to need to come up with at least another turnover or 2 in this second half to have a chance to win this ball game and get back to the state championship.
Yeah, 2nd and 8. They're going to send Thomas in motion, throw out here on the right side. And, again, he gets loose and up the sidelines where they mark him. It's critical. He's out at just inside the 30, John. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 3 for the Longhorns. That play really kept them ahead of the chains. Yeah, a lot of things you can do on 3rd and 3. We always talk about 2nd down in football. There's a lot of times the most important down You hear people say all the time, well, you gotta stop them on first down. You gotta make it. But second down really sort of sets the tone. I mean, third down is the money down. So you big plays a lot of times on second down. Third down and 2.5 here. Salter going to put a man in motion, going to take and run on the right side, and again, the young man just does it all on his own, runs through 2 tackles, and he moves the chain, John, and that's just a big play right there from Salter. 16 Foster on the tackle, but we had him really for no gain.
Yeah, Salter is the big play guy. Everybody knows it. We've said that multiple times during the first half, and I'm sure Coach Heim made some adjustments there at the half. Boy, one thing we're missing, Rick, is we didn't get a chance to visit with Coach Webb or Coach Heim at the half. Man, that would be so good to get their perspective.
Yeah, trips down here on the bottom side. Salter going to throw quickly out here to Thomas, and he has got room to run, and just a huge play there, 14 yards on the quick screen out on the left side. You just cannot play that soft down 11 points like that. I mean, that's just pitch and catch all day, and it seems like midway through the second quarter, Cedar Hill sort of saw that Geyer was going to give room to number 1 out here, and they took advantage of it multiple times. Now they're out at the 47-yard line, 1st and 10, trips right, a lot of movement there. No flags, though, and Salter throws quickly, and it is complete to 12 Rainey. Let's check the number there. 6 Jordan Eubanks tackles him. Gain on the play is 4. Second down and 6.
Yeah, Jordan Eubanks comes up with another stop. Man, he's had a great, solid season this year for the Wildcats defense.
Salter now, you got box sets on each side, straight back looking. He takes off up the middle. He's got a little bit of room. He slides down quickly. That's a good job by the defensive backfield from Geyer. Nobody open. He gets up, and they're going to mark him. Where did he see? Where he slid? Yeah. So he's down at the 45. He's 2 yards shy. You got another big third down and 2, John. I mean, right now, if I'm Geyer, I'm going to absolutely take the ball out of Salter's hands. I'm not going to let him run for a first down here. If he can throw a pass and complete it out in the flats, if you want, I'm not going to just let him turn and run the ball straight ahead. But Geyer, only 5 men in the box, though. Let's watch it. Motion. Salter keep and straight ahead run and right up the middle, and he just busts through there all the way down inside the 30, and that's exactly what he did, John. Straight ahead on the run. And this time he made a couple of people miss, but...
Yeah, nice play. Just a slight delay. He took one step back, then he immediately took off that right side, right off the right guard's butt cheek for a big gain. Not only first down, but a gain of about 12 yards, Rick. And, boy, Cedar Hill's got some momentum going here in this first series.
Yeah, Salter now hands straight inside 14 off the right side. That is Kalen Ashton, and he's going to get maybe 3 yards. Tackle over there. Check the number, 9, Rowan Briggs. 6, Eubanks on the tackle. 2nd and 8, maybe 7.
Yeah, speaking of that right guard, number 70, Rigo Martinez, 6'3", 260-pounder. Good size across that front. They average about 270 pounds across that offensive line at Cedar Hill.
Yeah, trips up on the right, stack formation, offset, hand inside, 21, straight ahead, going to be all the way up. Again, it's a familiar down, John, in distance, 3rd and 2, as 21 Chris Allen gets ahead for about 4.5, 5 yards. And again, I'm going to repeat it this time. I'm going to make somebody beat me. If you want to run the motion and you want to fake that wide read, I say I'm going to give it. You can keep it. Go to the corner if you want. I'm not going to let number 7 just stick it straight inside and go inside the 20. Let's see. Stacked on the left. Same again. Motion, fake, keep. Quarterback straight ahead. All the way inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. Another first down.
And one thing that you can bet on here, Carlos Lynn is taking his time. No rush to the line of scrimmage. He's going to work that clock a little bit with this lead, 21-10, with 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Not a big rush right now from the Cedar Hill Longhorns.
No, I think he's found a formula right now, and that's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I mean, it's a small joke. It's actually more like 4.5 yards in a cloud of dust. But he's making some changes to what happened last year, right? I got a lead, right? I'm going to get behind my guy, and I'm going to force just that. Geyer finally with the run blitz, heavy there, and they run it right into the teeth of that blitz, and that's Parham, and that's 21 for Cedar Hill. Chris Allen, he's going to lose 2 yards, John, but that's what you got to do now.
Carson Parham from that middle linebacker position just came up there right in the hole. Little undersized for middle linebacker, but boy, he's gritty. He came up there, form tackled him. Mark Quan Pope made sure he wasn't going to get loose, and 2-yard loss. A nice play by Parham.
Yeah, Wildcats got to stiffen up here. 2nd down and 12. Salter looking, got all day to throw, and fires back of the end zone, and it is. Luckily, we ran out of room back there, but 13, Clemens, wide open, back deep in the Geyer end zone. And, John, that looked, you said it looked like he threw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball earlier. That looked like he was trying to get somebody out at the plate from deep center. That thing was a rope.
Yes, Salter had way too much time back there.
Threw that from
looked
the
like
27,
a
John.
Texas gunslinger. He was just looking for his target, and then he whipped it back there. The ball was caught, but about 2 yards out of the back of the end zone.
That ball was 38 yards in the air, John, on a line. Quads right. Again, by himself in the backfield, Salter looking. 3rd and 12, looking. Now he's in trouble, and he gets loose. But this time he's going to be a little bit further short, and this will be an interesting call, John, as we knock him down on about the 12. Got to get to the 8 for a first down. You got 5 minutes and 42 seconds to go in this ball game. If you kick a field goal from here, you got a 2-touchdown lead, and I think that's what Coach Lynn's going to try to do as he brings the field goal unit on, and he certainly will let the clock run all the way down and use up the entire 17 seconds here left.
Cooper Lands had Salter in the grasp. Man, he almost had him, was pounding the turf after that, knew he had a chance for a big loss, and they're going to attempt a field goal right here.
Yeah, now you got 3 seconds, 2 seconds, snaps off down, kick is up, and it is perfect. Right down the middle. That's about all the leg that the Longhorn kicker has. Not a huge leg, but that's 2 in a row that he's drilled right down the middle. So 5 minutes and 7 seconds to go here, John. We did give up points, but not a touchdown. We're going to go to our sponsors. We'll be back in just one moment.
Hey, we do want to thank our radio sponsors this season, Cloud Realty, Kimberly Shanklin Law Office, Marty B's, Bud Bartley Homes, and our friends at Living for Zachary have supported Geyer Radio all season long. And, Rick, they're coming back for kickoff here, Cedar Hill. Boy, Geyer's going to have to get something offensively going and in a hurry.
Yeah, you got to get some points on the board here. Longhorn's going to kick off, and, again, you're going to get the same thing, pooched. Down around the 30. This time, not quite the 30, 33-yard line. Landon Sides comes up, makes that fair catch. Again, great field position for the Wildcats. But your time now, you got to get 2 touchdowns now. You're behind 2 scores. But more than anything, you got to figure out a way to get some sense of urgency about you. I'm not saying you got to run 2-minute offense all the time. Geyer loves to go fast. But it seems like in critical moments today, we've still just been lethargic, moving around. Now Stowers going to take, and he's going to hand to 27, B.J. Phillips. And he spins and struggles ahead, John, maybe for 2.5 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down and a short 8.
Yeah, Geyer's really going to have to get something established behind that big offensive line. B.J. Phillips is going to have to come up with some plays as well as the receivers.
Yeah, Stowers back again, looking, fires across the middle. DeMarcus Howard, he's caught it, and he is down immediately in his tracks at the 41. Completed there, but bring up 3rd down, and looks to be about 3. So it's definitely convertible here. You're getting close to midfield. This might be one, though, where we need to get this first down here. I'm not sure that Coach Webb with 4:21 here in the third quarter would go for this. So
yeah, that would be very risky. Four-down territory right here.
Yep.
They need to convert.
Stowers back looking, got pressure on the left. He gets it out to Stovall. Great job there, and it is complete, huge gain all the way down to the 45-yard line. They went back to that little delay to the tight end, and that was successful before. And again, Stovall with a big catch.
No, I had the Kentucky Derby analogy earlier. That was more like a Clydesdale.
It was.
Cy Stovall is a big fella. He runs like a Clydesdale. And but enough for a first down. Nice, sure-handed receiver out of the backfield.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Geyer now back right to the line of scrimmage. Stack formation on the right now. They're going to move B.J. Phillips to the left. Going to take and fake, and Stowers going to keep the ball, and he's going to spin into a defender. That's 32, Charles Esters. Little gain on the play, maybe 2. Call it second down and 8. Clock runs down around 3 minutes.
Yeah, across that defensive front, Cedar Hill goes about 270 across that front line as well.
Yep, now Stowers straight back, looking to throw off his back foot. This time complete to Jace Wilson on the crossing route, and it is complete and all the way down to about the 32-yard line. Nice play there. Tackled by 20, Joey Johnson.
Hey, nice job. Jace Wilson lined up at that left wide receiver position, cut across the middle of the field. Nice timing pattern, enough for a first down. Geyer.
Yep, Stowers going to take now and fake, and he's got a little bit of room on the right side. He spins out of a tackle. Now he's running, and he's inside the 20. And there's another example, John, of how Stowers, those long strides, he just sort of runs away from defenders. In what looked like it was going to be maybe a 3.5-yard gain, ended up being about a 15-yard gain, and Geyer goes fast all the way to the 20. We need a touchdown right here. Stack formation, Twins up high on the left. Stowers now going to look to the sidelines. Get his call from Coach Webb. Now he's going to move Stovall to the left side of the line. Going to take and going to fake again, run that quarterback hand inside, and this time nowhere to go. As the Longhorns sort of ran a blitz straight into that, and that's 32 Esters, who came on a stunt inside from his defensive end spot to knock Stowers down for maybe a yard gain, John.
And that's going to keep the clock moving. About 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in this third quarter with Cedar Hill leading this one 24-10.
All right, Stowers now takes and hands to Phillips on the left side. Creeping forward. This time very little gain again, though. Maybe a yard and a half. All right, critical down here, John. Third down, and we'll call it 7. Now the ball's inside the 20, though. You're definitely in 4-down territory here. So need a positive play here. Fake, look. Stowers looking. Now he's going to roll out to his left. He's got him open, and he throws. Nice catch. Jace Wilson comes back to the ball. That's a first down at about the 9. Really good job there from Eli buying time, and Jace Wilson coming back for his quarterback.
Yeah, that's just some chemistry. Jace had to come back for that one. The play was really designed to be, I think, a corner route in the end zone. Eli had to scramble. Jace saw that, came back, and enough for a first down. Big play right there.
Yeah, you got now big guys, big formation, going to put 19 O'Bara in motion, going to take, fake, and keep from Stowers, and he is going to get smashed. That time, that's number 8. That's Stephen Ingram from his linebacker spot, just really put a whopping on Eli. He's back to the 10-yard line, lost a yard on that one.
Yeah, Steph Ingram, 6 foot, 225-pounder. He'll join Kadrick Cobbs next year at UT San Antonio.
Yeah, shout out to Kadrick,
linebacker.
Too. Tough injury. We'll get to it in a second. Stowers going to take, and he's got pressure quick, and he's in trouble, and he's down. And that is a huge play. Big mistake from your senior quarterback, too, there. You got to get rid of that ball. Huge loss all the way back out at the 21-yard line. It's going to be third down and goal from the 21, and that is devastating.
That ignites that Cedar Hill crowd. A good crowd today. The Blue Crew is out thick tonight. We can't hardly see them because they're in the lower level, but Blue Crew is out in force as well, and they may have to be the X factor later in this game.
Yeah, you got stack formation. You got to send Aldridge in motion, and they're going to try to run that out to Aldridge, and that is picked off inside the 5. And we could see that coming a mile away as the throw was short on Ty Aldridge, but actually had 2 people back there to cover that anyway, and Geyer turns the ball over again, John.
Hey, Rick, I'm going to take a short break. We've got another Geyer alumni in the booth with us. Luke Piper, baseball player at Vernon College, is going to take over some of the color duties here for a series or so. So we'll be right back. Thanks for being a part of the Geyer Football Radio Network.
All right, guys. No timeout here. Is it? They seem to. They're going to go ahead on the change of possession. I think the TV network is the TV feed is not up this week, so that was a quick change there. Now Salter is in the backfield. He is 3 feet in the end zone. He's going to take it, keep it himself, roll to the right side. He's got 2 hands on the football. He ain't going anywhere, though. Geyer with a quick stop at about the 3-yard line. Got 15 seconds to go here, Luke, and that's probably going to be the last play of the third quarter. And a little bit of success offensively there from the Wildcats, but, boy, you really needed points there.
Yeah, I mean, especially with this Cedar Hill Longhorns being able to just hold the ball this whole game, it seems like, have the time of possession. They really needed to go score here with the fourth quarter looming.
Yeah, so a little commentary here as we're going to stay on the air here between quarters. One of the things that's really been apparent today, Luke, is off of that game last year. Now, certainly the onside kicks were crazy, but one thing that Coach Lynn has clearly put in his playbook this year, and this Longhorn team is a little bit different. They still have Salter, who is a tremendous player, but they don't quite have the explosiveness on the edge this year that they had last year. A little bit of a different team. Well, he's had a different formula today, too. He's had first downs. He's taken advantage. He's put enough points on the board, and he's just kept the ball away from the Wildcats.
Yeah, it seems like I said, they've had the ball time possession-wise, probably this are way more than the Geyer Wildcats. But the big thing for Cedar Hill is it seems like even when Geyer gets them third down pretty much on every possession, it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2,
yep.
4th and 1. And with Caden Salter back there, he pretty much get that 100% of the time.
Yeah, it just puts a tremendous pressure on your defense, especially when you've got a big offensive front. And, unfortunately for Coach Lynn, Carlos Peoples has not made it back into the game, but boy, they've got some beef up there on that offensive line. So they're clearly next man up mentality has worked, and Salter going to take and roll to his left. And what an unbelievable play there by 19. What is that? Ernie Moore on the one-handed catch. He deflected it up to himself, and we got a late flag here. No idea what that is. Did you see that?
Yeah, it looks. I didn't see the flag. Maybe late hit.
Yeah, it seems like. Let's see what we get on the call here. I'm not sure whether wide receiver for the Longhorns is excited about the penalty being on Geyer or whether he's mad at himself.
Yeah, I can't really tell, but this will be big. I mean,
yeah, it's going to be on Cedar Hill. That's a late hit, I guess. A little bit extracurricular outside the numbers, and when that happens, it's never the first guy that gets caught.
Oh, yeah. It's always the second guy who retaliates who gets called.
Yeah, now you never did that, did you, Luke? You never have done that, right?
Never.
Luke is also a catcher, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say you've never had anything to say to a batter either negatively about his poor performance so far during the day, or
sometime. I mean, you got to try to get in their head somehow, some way.
Exactly. Like, what do you think you're going to do this time? You sure haven't had much success today? Kind of thing like that. All right, Salter now. He's got back at his 3-yard line. He's going to roll right. He's going to keep the ball. This time, tucks it under 2 hands. And, Luke, another first down conversion.
Yeah, it seems
Salter.
Caden Salter, I mean, when he's got it, he reminds me a lot about, like, Johnny Manziel, where off script he can really do anything. And had no one open and just put his head down, and he seems like he gets the first down every time he runs.
Yeah, he's. If I was a Tennessee fan, I can tell you that the SEC eats up young guys a lot of times, and he's going to need a little bit of polish, I think. I think he would use a year or so, but I think you got a bright future. That's a kid who can make plays with his legs. He certainly has the arm strength as they're going to gain about 1.5 yards or 2 out here on a handoff inside. But I think he may take a year or so to get used to reading defenses and maybe running college offenses, but he's got so much talent. I think the people on Rocky Top are going to be pretty happy about Caden Salter.
Yeah, as hard as Texas high school football is, the SEC, I would say, is a little bit different. So I say give him a year or two, but he has the arm strength and the mobility. Little different than Tennessee Volunteer alumni Peyton Manning, but
Yeah, not the same quarterback.
not the same type, but
All right, 2nd down and 7 here for Salter. He's got stacked to his left, trips up on the left side. He quickly rolls and throws to Thomas, and this time we got that sniffed out. Maybe a half yard there, Luke. Catch the number on the tackle. Was that 6? Jordan Eubanks and 21 Ryan Yates, though, there to stop that for no gain. 3rd down here and 7, and you never want to say with 10.5 minutes that this is critical, but I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say right now this is critical.
This is going to be big. I mean, they're probably going to end up calling number 7 Caden Salter's number here, but this is big. I mean, they really need this.
Salter now going to take the snap, drop straight back, looking, and he is eaten, swallowed up, and that is Cooper Lands. He just proves that's just a grown man. That's just all there is to say about number 7. His buddy Rowan Briggs in there to help him out, but number 7, they double teamed him, Luke.
Yeah.
2 blockers on him. He bull rushed both of them and knocked the offensive tackle into Salter.
Big, strong, athletic kid who just you can't really do much about him. He's really the only reason the Guy Wildcats are still in this game here. And with 9:23 remaining, I mean, hey, they still have a chance.
Yeah, and this is the first punt of the game. And Clearly, goodness, almost blocked. Once again, that thing going to take a little bit of a Cedar Hill bounce and all the way down to the 40-yard line of Geyer. So that's unfortunate right there. But it almost looks like we could have blocked that one. And I think that the rusher was a little bit surprised himself. But 9 minutes and 7 seconds to go here, Luke. And not only do we need to score, but we got to score in a hurry.
Yeah, we got to look. We got to look for Eli Stowers to maybe get a few passes, short pass under his belt, but they got to get in the end zone here.
Yeah, I've been surprised. We have not made an effort, not one pass down the field today. We have not thrown one ball deep at all today. So let's see what you got. You've had O'Bara in the game the whole time. All right, Stowers going to take, and he's going to run the ball on the right side, and he's got a little bit of yards. Now he's going to take his time and get to the corner now all the way across midfield. First down Wildcats. A good job of patient running there from Eli, buying time till he can get a little bit of room and then get to the corner.
Looks like he didn't have much on that run, but read his blocks well and just kicked it to the outside. I mean, you said Grayson O'Bear's your home run hitter, but Eli Stowers could break a run loose anytime.
He definitely is by himself in the backfield right now. I got trips down here on this low side, and they're going to run a quarterback draw, and there he goes right up the middle and into a wall of Longhorn defenders. He's down at the 45-yard line, and now clock runs under 9 minutes. 24-10. Longhorns leading today. Still 2 scores behind. You got to get in the end zone, and you need a little bit of sense of urgency here as Geyer goes quickly to the line. 2nd down and 8. Stowers going to take and going to hand to Aldridge up the middle, and he's going nowhere. Maybe a yard and a half gain, Luke.
Yeah, Geyer's just been running up the middle. I mean, maybe just try to get out in your flats to your playmakers. Maybe see if Jace Wilson's single covered. But, I mean, the clock is just ticking. 8 minutes left, and with Cedar Hill being able to control the ball so well, I mean, you don't got much time.
Yeah, 3rd down now and 5. No punt from here on out. You know that. Stowers is back and looking and fires across the middle, and it is complete, and he's got O'Bara, and he's running in the open field, and he's going to get out of bounds. Ooh, big hit right there. As O'Bara's going to have to learn, just take that one out of bounds, son. But I'll take the play, though. A big play down to the 30-yard line, and he gets out of bounds, stops the clock, 7 minutes, 54 seconds. First time we've gotten the ball to him today. No, we got it to him on a little short route earlier that didn't do much with. Nice play there, though. Stowers in the stack formation on the right, going to take and fake and look. He's going to try to air it up, and he's got a receiver open. Touchdown! Touchdown! That's
Brody Noble.
That's Brody Noble in the corner of the end zone. Sorry, I had to wait to see the number. Beautiful over-the-shoulder catch from 4, and the Wildcats are within a score.
And just as we said, they weren't taking any deep shots. The play-action pass, and Eli Stowers puts it right on the money, right on the back shoulder of Brody Noble.
Beautiful play there. 4 touchdown. That's his 2nd touchdown of the year. 7 minutes and 46 seconds to go here, Luke. And with this extra point, the Wildcats could make it a 7-point game. Snap, down, kick up, and the kick is good.
honestly surprised. You see a lot in the NFL nowadays when they're down 2 scores. Usually they go for 2 in that situation to give them a chance to win, but I like the way they're playing. Maybe play for overtime, get another score, only down 7.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing I've seen in Guyer high school football, or excuse me, not just Guyer, but in Texas high school football, is I've seen people score 6 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So nothing is off the board here. Let's say an interesting take on this kick. I'll be interested to see how the Wildcats do this. I think they've been pretty successful kicking the ball longer, the longer pooch kick. But as the Longhorn defenders have sort of moved up closer and closer to the 20-yard line, it wouldn't surprise me here maybe to see Mayfield air one out and see if he can get one to nub down there inside the 10 and create a big play. As you see the Longhorn, the secondary guy, return guys, all the way out here to 18, 20-yard line. Let's watch this one closely. And nope, this one's going to be pooched into the middle. This thing takes a big bounce right to the Longhorn return man, though, and he's going to get up there to about the 25-yard line and get down. It'll be inside the 25. Look, 1st and 10. The Longhorns will start with 7 minutes and 43 seconds to go here.
Yeah, key to this drive is they just need to get on 1st and 2nd down, try to get Cedar Hill behind the chains. Because like I said, the 3rd and shorts, Caden Salter's going to get that 100% of the time. So look for Cooper Lands, again, to just keep coming up big, maybe get a sack or 2 here.
Yeah, you got 2 big powerhouses going at it right now. You would expect nothing less. Let's see how Cedar Hill plays this. One thing for sure, with a 1-score lead, you can't run out 7 minutes and 43 seconds. They're going to have to try to score, and Salter going to keep the ball on the left side, and he's got a huge gain on 1st down, 13 yards and a 1st down all the way out to the 38-yard line. The Cedar Hill tackled over there by 17 Fugit.
Yeah, Caden Salter with his patented little QB counter takes it, had some open room, and he gets about 14 on the play.
Yeah, you would not surprise me to see this ball stay in Salter's hands quite a bit. They've done a lot of that this entire game, though. We're able to make the play last time, but really it was the undisciplined late penalty from Cedar Hill that killed him last time. This time they're going to hand the ball to Rainey on the speed sweep, and he's going to get another 11 yards and a 1st down again. Luke, 7 minutes and 3 seconds, and the Longhorns don't look like they're trying to run the clock out now, right? That's 2 big plays in a row, 2 1st downs in a row.
Yeah, score ends it here, and they're not holding back any, getting the ball in their playmakers' hands and getting 2 1st downs instantly.
Now they are going to take their time, though. They're going to use up all of the play clock, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely no rush to run another play when you're up 7 points with 6 minutes left. And
yeah, clearly they're going to let everything run down to 10 seconds and then run the play. And they got that one off with 1 second. Salter going to keep it on the right side. This time nowhere to go, and tackled by who else? 7, Cooper Lance. And, we made a statement earlier that usually one player doesn't win a football game here and there. And even today, one player is not going to win this game, but he sure has kept them in this game. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Without Cooper Lands, his 2 strip sacks and his big plays, very well Cedar Hill could have just ran away with this, but now you get a 1-score game with 6 minutes left.
All right, Salter now by himself in the backfield again. Going to run the quarterback draw, going to take it on the right side. This time, nowhere to go. He's brought down almost immediately. Again, no doubt, 7, Cooper Lance, and 33, Marquand Pope on the tackle. Well, Lance is just a one-man wrecking crew on that line. I don't know who they've sent out there to block him, but right now I'm not sure anybody could block him.
I wouldn't want to block him. He's just barreling through everybody. But we got 3rd and 7 here, and look for the first pass of the drive coming up with Caden Salter.
Yeah, 5 minutes and 27 seconds to go here in this football game. Guyer Wildcats trailing Cedar Hill Longhorns 24-17. They've been behind the entire game here today. Much different from last year, though, where they got way behind and then seemed to score at will with a previously unknown defensive lineman becoming the hero last night here in Kobe Strange. But we got a timeout here, Luke. And, again, we're going to go to our sponsor, and we'll be back to discuss that in just a minute on the Guyer Wildcat Radio Network.
Buying or selling your home? Lisa Morris and Shannon Piper with the Cloud Realty team have been serving the DFW area for over 15 years. They specialize in residential buying, residential selling, and work with investors all over the Metroplex. Call them today at 469-300-1109 or go to txcloudrealty.com and check out their 5-star reviews. Contact Lisa and Shannon today to find your next dream home.
All right, we're back live here as Cedar Hill's coming out of the timeout. And that time they just let the shot clock. They let the play clock run all the way down there and use the timeout. Want to make sure that they make the right call. This is a big call here, no doubt about it. 3rd down, and it is every bit of 7 yards. They're at the 49-yard line of the Wildcats. Salter's got traditional spread formation, 2x2s, and he's going to roll left and look and fire, and it is complete. And that is classic Steve Spurrier football. High-low and somebody right there. You take your outside receiver, you run him on the deep out route, and you take your inside slot guy, you push him to the middle of the field, shorten him up, and run straight to the sidelines. Gain on that play is about 12 yards and a first down, Luke.
Yeah, like you said, he rolls out. Caden Salter looks really comfortable throwing on the run, and it made him look easy. Had the little flood concept going and hits him for about 15 yards.
All right, trips on this right side. Clock's now under 5 minutes, starting to get critical here. Rainey in motion, going to take, and Salter going to keep the ball on the right side, and he's got room, and he's running free, and now he slides. Smart play. Caden Salter, he gets a first down, and he slides inbounds at about the 24.5-yard line, Luke, and that is huge. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, it's just a first down, so they'll start the clock here immediately. But still, very smart play there from Caden Salter.
Yeah, high football IQ, not to run out of bounds. Slide like a baseball player before going out of bounds, and the clock is still ticking.
All right, 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go in this game. Cedar Hill Longhorns 24, your Wildcats 17. We're holding on by a thread. Ball at the 26-yard line. Salter going to send somebody in motion again, this time handed to Clemens on the speed sweep, and he gets nothing. And check the number.
Cooper lands on the play.
Do we need any more to check the number? Quincy, you can go on home. Just kidding. Don't go anywhere. But literally, it's like almost like you don't even need to spot anymore. It's like, where's 7? Oh, yeah, he's at the bottom of the pile. Loss on that play of a yard. 2nd down and 11. Clock running 3 minutes, 40 seconds, Luke.
Yeah, they're not in field goal range yet. They probably need about 15 more yards. So, I mean, I'd say it's 4-down territory for them, but, hey, they're not out of it. Great play to get them behind the chains on 2nd down.
Yeah, trips left. Salter now going to send somebody in motion. Going to take, going to fake, going to keep it up the middle, and really nowhere to go. And the ball's loose. And what's the call on this? They're running all over the field. Geyer looks like they had the ball. There's no replay in Texas high school football, but I'm telling you right now, he was not down on the ground, and they ripped that ball out of his hands.
Yeah, it looked like they definitely blew the whistle a little prematurely. Flag on the play, though.
Yeah, let's see what the call is here. There's also flags everywhere. And you can clearly see the ball is out before he's down on the ground. There's absolutely no doubt about it. The ball is bouncing forward into Eubanks' hands, but they are clearly not going to look at that. Was a penalty on the play. Looked like maybe illegal motion or something, but they didn't stop the clock, so maybe it was a formation problem. 2nd down now, and it's all the way back to about 16. That, if anything, that benefits Cedar Hill because that just gives them another down to run clock. Salter now going to throw. That thing's batted up in the air, and wow, that thing almost went into the hands of Darius Goodlow. Cooper lands again on the batted ball, and that really would have been something because number 1 would have been going the other direction by himself.
Yeah, rarely do you say your defensive lineman's your MVP, but that's a true testament right here as you see Cooper land just making play after play after play.
All right, let's check it now. It's 3rd down. 17 yards to go. Ball is at the 33.5-yard line. You got 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Geyer trailing 24-17. Need a stop right here. Salter rolling to his right. Now he's going to turn and run. He's got room, but he throws, and it is caught, juggled and caught, and that's a first down, and that is a enormous play by the Cedar Hill receiver over there as he juggled the high catch and came down with it inbounds, and that's going to give him another entire 4 downs. And that was number 3 over there. That's Julian Austin on that catch by the senior. Big play, Luke.
Yeah, looked like he wasn't going to come down with it, and then just kept it in bounds. Great play. That could have been the dagger.
Yeah, Salter now going to take and run straight up the middle, and he's down to about the 12. Clock now running 2 minutes, 59 seconds, and I think Geyer's going to use their first timeout, and they are. Well, Luke, this is it right here. You got to use all your timeouts. You got to try to block the field goal, stop the touchdown. Really, your back is at the wall here.
Yeah, they're going to need a miracle. Cedar Hill's definitely not going to put it in the air anymore. Just going to keep in Caden Salter's hands, make Geyer use their timeouts, and they're going to need a blocked field goal. But maybe Cooper Lance can come up big again.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I can tell you if I was coach, that was an excellent comment to make, because if I was coaching the Longhorns right now, I would tell my offensive coordinator that we no longer are allowed passing plays. Like this.
Yeah.
Take your pass sheet, take your route tree, put that in your back pocket, because at this point, you just it's just not necessary. You want Geyer to use all their timeouts right here. You want to put your talented quarterback on the edge, and maybe you can give him the appearance of the run-pass option, but I certainly would not put the ball in the air. 2 minutes, 59 seconds, second down from the 13-yard line. Salter going to take and hand to his running back on the right side. That is number 16, Jaden Callahan, and he's going to be ahead for maybe a yard and a half. 11 Parham on the tackle. And they'll get another quick timeout from the Wildcats. 2:55 to go in this game. 24-7. You're just joining us. 24-17. Cedar Hill Longhorns ahead of your Geyer Wildcats. You got 2 minutes, 55 seconds. And they've got the ball at the Geyer 13-yard line. And your defense needs a stop from here. Are they inside field goal territory? They're right at the edge. We saw him make a 29-yard field goal earlier. So, and he probably had 5 or 6 yards to spare. But this is probably at the edge of his range. But I will say this, he's an accurate kicker. Everything he's hit has been right down the middle of the goalpost. So I still think if you're Geyer, a negative play right here is your best friend.
Yeah, I'd send the dogs at him, try to get him. Like you said, he doesn't have the biggest leg. He is accurate, but if they get a little 5-yard loss, that might be out of his range.
Yeah, first down ends the ball game. There's no doubt about that. There's a fake. Salter going to keep, and this is going to be close. And he is going to be a half-yard short. It's going to be 4th down and a half-yard. You're going to use your final timeout, and this is the ball game right here. If they make a first down, it's over.
Yeah, if I was Cedar Hill, don't be surprised if they just go for it on 4th, half a yard with Caden Salter. But field goal does end it here, and it's probably, 15-yard, 20-yard field goal.
Yeah, the problem with your field goal here, though, you kick a field goal, Geyer still can score, and you get an onside kick. And if I'm Coach Lynn right here, I'm going for this. There's no two ways about it. This is the play. This is your season right here. I mean, I'm Coach Lynn. I'm going to the huddle right now, and I'm going to tell everybody that right here. This is your play. Every single day this year, every minute, all of this COVID mess, everything you've been through for seniors, everything you've been through your whole life, right here. This is it.
Yeah, Cedar Hill has some big offensive linemen. I'm looking at the sheet right now, 6'3", 285, 6'2", 300, 5'10", 250. I mean, they got the powerful guys, and with that 335, it's going to be hard to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what your defense is going to look like right now, but you're going to have 11 men on the line of scrimmage one way or the other. And they are going for the field goal, and I got to tell you, this really shocks me. The ball be put down at about the 13-yard line and be a 23-yard field goal, certainly barely an extra point, and the kick is up, and the kick is good, right down the middle. That's going to give them a 2-score lead, Luke. But I'm going to tell you right now, you still have a prayer. You still have hope. You can score. You got the opportunity for the onside kick. If if they get a half a yard there, the game's over. But you go for the field goal. It's good. Your odds are still enormously high to win this football game. You got 2 minutes, 43 seconds. Even if you give up a touchdown, there's no way to kick the ball off for Geyer and stop the clock. So you're definitely going to see an onside kick, one way or another here, and that's just to say even if you score. So it's really going to be a long shot for the Wildcats here.
Yeah, 2:43 remaining. I mean, that's plenty of time to at least go get down one score. But I mean, it's gonna if they go score, how much time left are they gonna have if they get the onside kick, and maybe get it in Mayfield's range about the 20, kick the field goal, and then maybe give yourself a little more time. But whatever you do, the odds are just not in your favor.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, even though we had the big game last year with all the onside kicks, the successful onside kicks, 3 consecutive, as a matter of fact, Geyer was never in this position. They were never down to one kick, ball game over, right? So they were never in that situation, and that is a bad way to start. And we're going to be all the way back down inside the 15-yard line there, and that is another huge mistake on special teams. As the ball gets over our receiver's head, you just got to make smarter plays than that, Luke.
Yeah, it looked like a ball in the gap that both the guys just kind of look at each other and no one calls for it, and bounce around. And lucky it bounced in their hands, but I mean, they're down at the 15-yard line, 85 yards to go. It's going to be tough, but hey, if there's a way, they might be able to do it.
Yeah, so here we go. 2 minutes, 38 seconds. Your Longhorns, or your Geyer Wildcats behind the Longhorns, 27-17. Definitely it's desperation time. We need a touchdown, an onside kick, and another touchdown. We need 2 scores in 27. Let's see what we got. Penalty on that, and it's going to an inauspicious start for the Wildcats as we get a delay game penalty there. So we definitely have got to make something happen here, Luke. Now we're all the way back to the 12-yard line.
Huge mistake having a delay of game on the first play coming out off the sidelines. I mean, how do you let that happen?
I don't know. Let's go. Eli Stowers by himself. Going to fake. Looking. Now fire across the middle. That is high, and oh, my word, that was picked off, or should have been picked off, and that would have been another 6 points for the Longhorns for sure as we tried to run the slant, and we overthrew that, and it went right through the hands of number 9, Amarian Williams there.
Yeah, Amarian Williams pretty much had the trip to the state title in his hands, and he just let it slip through.
All right, Stowers now again back looking pressure. He eludes it, rolling right, and he's going to run out of bounds. Gain on the play maybe a yard or two. Third down now, and going to be about 13 yards to go, Luke.
Yeah, they don't seem like they have the sense of urgency they need down 10 with 2:20 left, no timeouts. I mean, at least try to maybe smart move not to make a dumb mistake there, but they got to make something happen.
Yeah, here we go again. Traditional spread formation. Got 2s on each side. Stowers back, going to run the quarterback draw, and he's going straight down to the ground. No real gain on that play, maybe a yard, and it's 4th down in the season right here.
Don't really understand that play call. I mean, last drive they really had success throwing the ball, maybe at least underneath, getting something going, but that QB draw 3rd and 13 was not the smart play call.
Yeah, maybe on the 1st or 2nd down. That's an interesting call. All right, here it is, 4th down and 11. This is your last play. This is your game play right here. Stowers going to take and throw to Jace Wilson underneath, and watch it. He's right by the sticks, and he makes a first down. Boy, that was huge right there. And the defensive coordinator for Cedar Hill is animated. He is not happy about that. All right, clock now, 1:44. Geyer got to move quickly. Stowers back, takes a snap, fakes, looking, still looking, and he throws the ball out to 19 O'Bara, and that's a gain on play about 2 yards. Still, you got 3 receivers in the route. That's just interesting there. Stowers quickly gets him back to the line. Luke, we're almost under a minute now. Going to take, again, faking inside, and he is in real trouble. And he gets loose, though. Stowers going to take and throw, and it is complete to Jace Wilson all the way out to the 50-yard line. Excellent job by Eli as he just did keep hope alive. for the Wildcats. Again, no timeout, so you got to get up here and move quickly.
Under a minute now.
And the Longhorns are in no hurry to get back to the line. You're going to lose 8-9 seconds there on the spot. Stowers again fake, and he's going to throw out here to Wilson, and it's caught. And he's down at the 27, and we could have used some of this earlier in the ball game as we finally have loosened up the Longhorn defense. Wildcats hurry to the line. Clock is stopped. 47 seconds. Now you're critical. You've got to get the ball in the end zone, and you got to get it in the end zone in a hurry. And Stowers looking, and he throws again into the middle of the field, though, and that was a mistake right there.
Got to get to the ball and clock it here.
Clock is running. 37, 36, 35. Geyer hurries to the line, and what do we got? Timeout on the field. And I don't understand that from the officials. They call timeout and let the Longhorn player get off the field. That makes no sense. Stowers tries to clock it, and he does. 28 seconds to go in the game. And now you've got to start putting math together. And I don't know. I don't know exactly what the time frame is to get an onside kick and to move the football. But if you don't make it happen maybe you got 2 plays to make it happen, because if you don't, even if you successfully get that onside kick back, you're going to have trouble getting it in the end zone. Stowers got trips on this left side. He's going to take and fake again, and he's looking. He's rolling, and he's going to throw, and that thing's way out of bounds and over the receiver's head. And Stowers took a lick on that play, but no call. Now you're down to 22 seconds.
And they're going to bring out Mayfield here.
Yeah, I like this call. You really don't have any choice. This is a good call.
Yeah.
You need 2 scores. A kicker's got a huge leg. I mean, you got to look at the time. Look, you got 22. If you run another play, then you really are getting close to not having enough time. Ball will be put down at the 31. This will be a 41-yard field goal from Mayfield. Snap, hold, kick. It's up, and it is no good. He missed it to the left.
And
that's probably going to put an end to this thing. You got 17 seconds to go in the game, and that'll end it right there. As we will see the Longhorns go to victory formation. They will take a knee, and that will end the season for the Wildcats, and certainly disappointing at the end. But John, as my partner, John Piper, joins me back on the mic here. It's hard to see this as anything but a tremendous season for the Wildcats and Coach Webb and his first year, entire staff.
A lot of new faces there. I know there's a lot of excitement for the future. You know, each and every year, Geyer expects to be in this position, go deep into a playoff run. It's always unfortunate, like we talked with Coach Webb this week. I think at the beginning of the season, there's, 700 and something teams that have a chance to get into the playoffs, and it boils down to one state, or actually 2 in 6A state champions. So, the other 698 go home disappointed. And there's going to be a lot of disappointment with the Geyer players, the fans, the coaches, but a lot to be proud of and a lot to build from.
Yeah, and there are going to be some tears shed on that field today. But, two really good football teams playing today. And we were able to talk to Coach Lynn earlier in the week. Really impressed with Coach Carlos Lynn, the coach at Cedar Hill. And he talked about a little bit about the defeat last year, the tough defeat. But he made the point that, look, at the end of the year, there's only going to be one team that's really happy. Right? There's only one team that ends the season with a victory. And he made a point, whether you lose the second week or the third week or the last week, it's still a tough pill to swallow. And you got to see that this year that pill is swallowed from the other sideline.
Yeah, a lot of respect right now on the field. The Geyer, both teams are at the 50. They're social distance, of course, but Geyer is taking a knee. Cedar Hill is over there kind of celebrating their victory. And Geyer is going to come together. Coach Webb's going to have some parting words for them. But we want to hear from our man Koency Hord. He's got some of the full game stats and some of the keys to the game.
Well, just a great game to watch here today at McKinney ISD Stadium. But, I think at the end of the day, this one kind of just came down to, who wanted it more. And I think after last season's ending for Cedar Hill, they definitely came in here with a chip on their shoulder, and they wanted this one. Cedar Hill beats Geyer 27-17. Geyer with 14 first downs, 259 total yards, 132 of those being passing, 127 rushing yards, two penalties for 11 yards, 3 turnovers, and 3 interceptions. Cedar Hill with 23 first downs, 361 total yards, 198 of those being passing, 163 rushing yards, 6 penalties for 36 yards, and 2 turnovers. Rick and John.
Hey, Quincy, I want to thank you all season long. You've been a key part of the broadcast team. I want to thank Camden Thrailkill for hopping on here, some filling in. Luke Piper's hopped in some. We've done this just on a shoestring, on a whim, and we're able to get through a season. Another key stat that was really eye-opening, we talked about a little bit in the first half, but time of possession. Cedar Hill Longhorns controlled the ball 43 minutes and 59 seconds to Geyer only 15 minutes and 44 seconds. That's really, I think, the key stat. You got to keep the ball out of Caden Salter's hands, and Geyer was not able to do that today.
Yeah, I mean, if you take away the 2 strip sacks on him where we actually took possession away, you wouldn't believe it. And all day long, John, Geyer's offense just not effective. I mean, we've seen little spurts from Geyer all year. We've had a few games where we put up big points. But to be honest with you, you get 2 overtime games here in the playoffs that have kind of skewed the numbers a little. And Geyer's offense just has not looked good the last month, really. And today, boy, it was on display. We just seemed like out of sorts. I know Eli made some good throws, but really a couple of bad decisions today. And if you take away that yardage at the end of the game when Cedar Hill was clearly sitting back and letting us, keep the ball in front of them, I don't know what the yardage numbers were today, but it had to have been, a big difference. Geyer really, after the midway through the first quarter, they just until late in that game, we did actually make it a 1-score game, but it really did not feel from our perspective up here like Geyer was really ever in the game.
Yeah, we talked pregame, Rick. Geyer was going to have to really come out with a balanced attack. Their running game was going to really have to step up, both B.J. Phillips and Tyon Aldridge. And then Eli was going to have to make some big plays with his arm, and it just didn't happen today. Hats off to the Cedar Hill Longhorn defensive unit. They played a phenomenal game, holding Geyer to only 17 points. And, Cedar Hill's averaged 40-something points a game. So, hats off to the Geyer Wildcat defense. They played well and really got them to this position. And, we say defense wins championships all the time, but you got to put points on the board, and Geyer just fell short today. Again, they're doing the Geyer fight song right now, or the Geyer school song, rather, and always a special moment. I know we had several fans that came in from out of town to watch this game. And I do want to take a moment to thank all the fans that tune in each and every week and like to hear our shenanigans and listen to Rik Thrailkill bring you the play-by-play action. John Piper, it's been so fun to complete another season being the voices of the Geyer Wildcats. Again, Koency Hord has got a bright future in this business. He's been with us. And a shout-out to our partner that does so much behind the scenes to make us sound good, Kyle Rogers, who couldn't be here today. He had to work. But, Kyle, if you're listening or listening on the replay, man, thank you for all you do. We can't do it without you. And, Rick, with that, any final thoughts before we take it to Living for Zachary?
Yeah, I tell you what I would like to do is send a shout-out to all the fans. So everybody who listened to us and who made us a part of their Friday nights and Saturday afternoons, I really want to appreciate it. This has sort of been a lifetime love and something I've thought about doing my whole life. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but it's also a lot of work to put it together. So I'm thankful to everyone who's listened to us and has made us part of their Geyer Wildcat experience. So with that, something that's near and dear to my heart, I'll let Liz Thrailkill take it away and talk about Living for Zachary.
I'm Liz Thrailkill. Did you know sudden cardiac arrest is the #1 cause of death on school campuses? Living for Zachary is on a mission to change that, one kid at a time. Living for Zachary provides youth heart screenings for kids ages 12 through 22 and donates AEDs or automated external defibrillators to youth-based organizations. When it comes to your kid's heart, there's not a reason to wait. Geyer High School is a proud partner for Living for Zachary. My son Cam is an example of early detection. Living for Zachary and his heart screening from Living for Zachary may have saved his life. To find out more and register for a heart screening, visit livingforzachary.org and click on screenings. Do it today and go Wildcats.
All right, guys, back for just a quick parting thought here. John?
Yeah. A lot to build on. These kids, a lot of the seniors, this is their last game. That's always the unfortunate part is when a senior has to hang it up for the very last time. But the program, whether it's at Geyer High School, Cedar Hill, the game of football teaches these young men so much about life and builds a foundation that they'll take on. So they can walk out of here with their chin held high. They left it all out on the field and was one of the final 8 teams in the state of Texas, which is, we'll argue all day long, whether it's Georgia, California, Florida. Texas has the best high school football talent anywhere in the country.
All right,
and I know you want to argue that one, Rick. But
no, I'll tell you. This is what I'll say to you. You can proudly make. There may be some debate about it, but I'll tell you this: you can proudly make that statement without any problem, and you have a lot of people in your court. I agree with that 100%. Let me just say this: in everything you do, there is a winner and a loser. Right? But that doesn't mean anyone is a loser. In all endeavors, there's going to be a winner, whether it's in the business world or not. But in this game, there weren't any real losers. It was a great effort. We've been critical at times of Geyer. It's our own team. Sometimes, we're certainly big fans, and we certainly cheer for them. There's no doubt we've been referred to as homers. But I think we can also be objective, and we've been tough on them. So, in this year, though, no spring practice, very limited summer practice, a brand new coaching staff. I think that Coach Webb can be proud, and certainly going to the semifinals of state your first year is successful. The future here is bright. You got another explosive, talented quarterback that'll be starting next year. That'll be. He'll have at least 2 years, or he'll have 2 years, of the reins. There's a lot of young talent that we see out there. I think the future's bright here. You'll have a whole nother year in the system, in the scheme, and everything. But today, this was definitely Cedar Hill's day. No doubt about it. We've been on the winning end of a lot of these things. But today, there's no doubt that Cedar Hill won this football game. Geyer didn't lose the game. Cedar Hill won the football game, no doubt.
And much like the Geyer community, Cedar Hill has a great football community, a lot of tradition. Cedar Hill will play the winner of Katy and Buda Hayes that I think play this afternoon as well. So I know as a fan, Rick, I'll be tuned in. Fox Sports Southwest always has the championship Friday and Saturday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I believe. Well, this year it's just Friday and Saturday due to just 5A and 6A playing. But it's always a great event there at AT&T Stadium to crown a champion, and always special here in the state of Texas.
Well, absolutely. And with that, we will let you go. For my partner, John Piper, for our statistician, Koency Hord, for our loving recording director, what do you want to call Kyle Rogers, who's not here today, our engineer.
Producer engineer.
I'm Rik Thrailkill, the voice of Wildcats, and we thank you so much for joining us this year. Best of luck, and we'll see you next season.